guess I'll do that one more time. I think I should have just sorted the sound issues on YouTube. I think they can hear us now.
YouTube.
I believe they can hear us on YouTube. So if you can hear us on YouTube, let us know. If you can't hear us on YouTube, also let us know. But I'm going to assume that you can and go right into that bit that I have to say, which is that while we're talking on this show, welcome again to Brick Talk. I'm Randy, that's Danhai on the other side of your screen. And while we're talking on this show, while Danhai is a licensed investment advisor, I am not, and nothing that's said on the show should be taken as investment advice by us or anybody else, guests or anything. Don't buy and sell nothing just because you hear us say it. Make all the investment decisions with the help of an investment advisor who has given you targeted information for your specific situation. And this episode or any episode of Brick Talk is definitely not that. All right? So please and thanks.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's please ensure that we bear that in mind, especially tonight when we're talking about one stock. So just to catch you up, we were talking about a bunch of things earlier. We threw out the option. I threw out the option because we're taking so long that whoever sent the speaker request first could pick what my one stock would be. And we had Sir Phil who got it, and he decided to double it and pay it forward to Cruz. And Cruz decided that the viral video ended right there. And he asked for Panjam, was it
Yeah.
Cruz?
Yes, sir.
Panjam. All right. So Panjam it is, and I'm throwing out option again. Do you want to talk first, or do you want Phil to go first? I'm giving that option to Phil, really, since he was kind enough to give you his slot.
Phil, you talk first or
Come on,
Chris?
Cruz can go ahead.
All
Cruz
right,
can
go
go ahead.
through, Sir Cruz. I hope I brought everybody up to speed. Welcome again.
Oh, well, my particular interest around Panjam is because of the deal they have with JP, um, which I guess for everybody online who aren't aware, they're the Jamaica Producers Group. They're offloading, well, pretty much most, if not all, of their assets to the Panjam Group, um, in exchange for a percentage of Panjam. So
Hmm.
pretty much all the current business lines and Jamaica Producers would be offloaded to Panjam. But I am interested in what that looks like, what that future looks like for Panjam, because it's kind of like this silent, lazy stock. Um,
Lazy.
but I guess this adds some amount of excitement around it um, when looking at the opportunities.
You see, you got analyst on me at the end part there, so because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that mean. Talk real talk. You all right? You're talking to me about it. I'm gonna talk how I talk about it. I don't ever talk like that. And I don't know anybody who actually speaks like that either, meaning in real life. Um, so what you really mean? You have some panjam?
Yeah,
JP shares?
I've, uh, have some Panjam, but I'm also
No JP?
yeah own JP, but I'm also skeptical of Panjam in that I'm afraid that they might do a APO. Um,
Why?
because they
Why?
did during COVID, I think they asked for some shareholder meeting about increasing the share capital and to raise I think like 100 million US. But I think at the time the BOG had said that we should.
What's the rights issue?
Hmm?
What's the rights issue?
Uh, I don't want to say Panjam as a type of company that would use a rights issue because they're very traditional in their.
The hell does that mean?
Rights issue is a traditional thing.
Rights
You're the
issues
new
very
thing.
traditional.
APO the
APO
thing.
That,
is a APO
APO
invent
worldwide is the thing nobody
2019.
me,
wants.
what I mean by
Like
that
traditionally, you call for APO
is it
and there's no fanfare. You'd say a dilutive secondary offering, but it's not about that.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. I don't think they're the type of company that going to look at the small man and choose the option that benefits the small retail investor.
But
That
why
is
would it
a
be a thing then?
different thing to say. Do you think that they pick this thing with the retail investor in mind?
No.
Yeah, as in, but companies have done rights issues in the past.
It's not a benefit. It's not like they don't benefit. It's not like the larger investor or the non-retail investor doesn't benefit from
Yeah,
the rights issue. That's not why the APO is done, or why. But back to APOs, imagine. Let
yeah,
me not
God.
hold this APO point to be honest. But yeah, so you're worried that they'll do an APO,
Yeah.
but then you have to yeah. So you're worried they'll do an APO, and
But
because
you
of the
have
type of
Panjam
company they are.
shares.
Yeah, I have it for now.
So how much do you believe they're going to do an APO? Because the worry is so you hold it happily or not? You have the shares.
I,
You're actually scared.
I wouldn't say I'm scared, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
on the side of caution.
So what that meaning you have money in it. So are you willing to put more money on it,
No,
or
I'm not willing
so why are you willing to have money in it?
because when I bought it, it was um, for a very long term play that I had it in mind. But with these dilutive things, like,
So you're thinking you're long
No, no,
term
no,
play
no,
might be
hold on,
real.
make him
Oh,
finish.
okay,
Let him
sorry.
finish.
Actually, you're
Let him
right. You're
finish.
right. We chat too much.
I want to hear him say.
yeah, but with
Yeah.
dilutive things that may happen, I'm now questioning it. If it's a position that I want to remain in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
the foundation that I originally built, I would say my investment
in,
thesis on still remains. Nothing has changed.
in Panjam.
Yeah.
So if
The thesis doesn't
you
take that APO into account.
But it's not just the APO, but also the whole JP acquisition or transfer of assets rather. Um, I'm not sure if that might have changed your opinion on it. So
My,
whoa, our opinion are
my
yours.
no,
opinion or yours?
I'm
no,
going to.
the
I'm.
persons in the company making the decision, the board, if they need to go out
Mm-hmm.
and raise capital again. Uh,
Mm-hmm. But you say it's not about that.
Mm-hmm.
well, it's looking at all these things about Panjam, APO, JP acquisition, the JP transfer of assets, and the future of what Panjam looks like.
Yeah, but you see, for me, all right, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to talk about it, how I would think about it if I was in it, or looking at it from an analysis perspective, how I would analyze it. But then I need parameters to analyze it around. So you're in it, and you say you bought it initially for a long-term goal. What was the time on that? Or
Uh,
what did you
I
really
have
do?
my retirement account that I build it out.
Okay, so it's like a pension.
Yeah, I have a pension
All
account.
right. How many years before you retire?
Mm-hmm.
Probably another 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
35 years. And so you bought Panjam now with the 35-year plan in mind.
Yeah.
And so, but you haven't bought any more, and you say you wouldn't buy any more.
Yeah, that's the interesting part to me. You get hold this thing for 35 years, and you're imagine having a 35 year gap where you put nothing into this and you see it rise really well.
I,
Because that's what you're really looking at. Because you actually expect it to rise really well for the 35 years. If the money you have in there, still.
yeah. But what
What do you
you
think?
cannot do is that maybe in the medium term they might do some sort of that,
What is medium term?
No, no, hold
Time.
on. Some sort of what? Some sort of what?
like a
This is
APO and probably sink the share and share price, and
okay.
then it stagnates for another 5 or 10 years. I don't want to be um the portfolio to be stagnating for a very long time.
But you say you have a 35-year goal.
5 year goal.
Yeah, but you
5 years out of the 35 is next to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
mm, I look at it like that sometimes, but it's
Why not flexible? Why so flexible with how you look at
it's hard to know something and constantly act on it when you're immediate or the results in front of you not showing
it
the
immediately?
things that
That's the hard part of long term.
yeah
If you're doing any long term investment, you have to be very okay with the market just being the market between the time when you want the money and the time when you're putting in the money. So
Yeah,
the market can move up and down. Punjab won't always have a good year. It's not going to be smooth sailing. From you will see that stock price go down, up and down. You can feel that high when the price go up, and then one day that price will drop, and you go see it and feel it, and you go say, boy, Punjab reached 200, and it's 150 now. I should have sell at 150. I should have sell at 200 and buy back at 150, and that's how go sound and feel nice. But you're far from your 35 goal, and you're far from the 500 you really wanted to go to. That's long term investment, bossy. You can't flip flop because the short term not looking as pretty as you
yeah
want it to. And
I agree, but
so what you
it's a
doing?
it's something that I have to also actively develop as I go along. It's not like I just born with this.
Mm-hmm.
so
So
what
is
I
the
te-
issue
what
Panjam or is Panjam the issue or the portfolio? I mean how you approach it.
I think Panjam is the issue.
yeah, straight up is never
It's never
I like that. I like
oh
that.
when you say
Yeah, it's not
Panjam and
me.
Shaggy dog, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
No,
So all
it's
right.
never me.
So Panjam is the issue. Let's get into the Panjam. You say it's the issue because it's not necessarily looking no like what you would want to see with regard to your 35-year goal, right?
It's more along the lines of they show a lot of options and they haven't selected which one they're going with as yet, and that makes me uncomfortable.
On your 35-year goal.
Yeah.
On your 35-year goal.
When you put it like that, it's
No, no, no. Hold on. You see. That's why I repeat it. I'm
Easy.
not putting
If
it
I can put it
anywhere.
like that, and tell you what real life is. What you said.
I'm asking. What I'm really doing is seeing how many times do I say it before you say that it's not really a goal. Because I'm
Mm-hmm.
putting it how you put it is you tell me 35 years to your retirement.
But then tomorrow those look pretty.
You what I say?
Imagine it's gonna
Anybody
be
who
a
say long term, just wait 5 seconds.
yep, they're gonna say short term very quickly.
Yeah, in this case, it's not that you're not saying
I
long term in a cruise.
don't.
It's that you're telling. Sorry, go
You're
ahead, Cruz.
behaving short.
I think my mindset.
Hmm.
Um, I think I'm just being human. Um,
So so
Agreed.
is Punjab the
Nothing, nothing
issue?
wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. Well, it don't matter if Pancham is the issue or not. I want, at least I'll tell you around what I
True.
think the issue is. I'm still going to help you with Pancham. However, so you say, because I want to give you the analysis I would give. Let's say you are a paying client who pay me to analyze a set of stocks, right? Actual analysis.
mhm.
I'm trying to give you like a compressed version, an abridged version of that. No. So you're saying you're looking at Panjam and you want an analysis of it over 35 years. Is that really what you want? And I'm not saying that's not what you want. I'm asking
No,
because
more like
don't
5 year.
wow.
Yo,
Wow.
bossy, bossy.
Do you
You
do
see the
you do
difference in
you
that, right? Yeah.
yeah.
So now I see why you're worried about Punjab over the next 5 years. Because the reality is,
I don't even think I'm really worried over the next 5 years either.
we need a it's so long termish, right?
If you chop if you chop you just chopped 30 years a while ago.
Yeah, that's enough, you know. That's,
Cruz, are you 30 years old or older?
Yeah.
You're older than 30.
he's
Yeah.
30.
You just chopped your entire lifetime off of the goal.
Yeah.
All right,
But
I'll try again.
don't you have to
No, go ahead.
constantly reassess your the things in your portfolio to see if there is still alignment? with your trajectory.
With
But
your what?
you
No,
just
hold on,
change your
hold
trade.
on, hold on. Say that again. Don't you have to constantly reassess the things in your portfolio to see if they align with what?
The trajectory.
The
Yeah.
trajectory, or the trajectory
Use
meaning
the
what?
real word, man. Use the word. Use the word.
Meaning that will this be remain a good investment? So by the time that you need it.
When
Not a
will you
case
need
where you
it?
just put it, you just buy it and just leave.
Have you done grow? You did grow already?
Yeah.
What's the thing that I
Cruise, you're
stress
answering
heavily
questions
at
they
grow?
Hmm?
know.
What's the thing that I stress at grow?
Um, in relation to.
This that we're talking about. If you don't know, you'd know already. You'd know already if you knew. All
Oh,
right,
go.
watch me. Let me try it another way. Your goal, which
Yeah.
is AKA when you need the money, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying, don't you constantly have to reassess your portfolio to see if it is helping you to do what?
Reach a goal.
All right, but to do that, I have to have what?
Um,
The goal.
yeah.
So you
You
understand
just
the difference
reassess
between
your
telling
goal.
me you understand the difference between telling me that your goal is 35 years from now and 5 years from now? Like it's two different approaches I was about to take,
Yeah. Like different ball game in terms of where your money and what that stock needs to do for you.
All right. I guess you can look at them in both.
No
No, you
man.
can't. No, you
No, you
cannot.
can't.
No,
You
you
can't.
No,
cannot.
because
That
No, let me
yo,
tell you why. Let me tell you why not, Cruz. You're asking me when you were born. You your parent come up to me and say, "What do you think I should invest in on the stock market for when my son is 30 years old? That son will be able to benefit from it fully."
Mhm.
Versus when my son is 5, my son should be able to benefit from it. You see the massive difference between those two?
Mhm.
And again, I don't really think you mean 5 either. Do you really mean 5?
no.
Um,
Cruz, punch up
No,
a
no,
number
hold on,
in
hold on,
here.
hold on. I really want him answer it. I really want him answer it. Like, think about it, Cruz. Just be honest. You know, grow. You know, the second thing I say is the second most important thing in investing. So just try, be honest and say what you really want. And it's not that a pressure in you here. Is that I want to give you the best answer you can get, and it don't make sense. You don't really ask me what you really want.
Mm.
So
the thing is, I I know the answer. If you're looking at a 35-year period,
you do.
yeah.
What's the answer?
Well, I can only look at where they're coming from and projecting to the future and say that it seemed like a good ship to be on.
That don't mean nothing, Cruz.
But
Whole heap of things did look good 30 years ago. When last you
you
go
not
to a
care about
phone
cash flow.
booth?
Hmm?
Yeah. When last you go to a phone booth? When last you like top up your iCast or whatever, right? Like, when last you do any of those things? And those things were hot 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it means that it looks good 30 years from now or 35 years from now. What I want to be sure of is what do you actually want? Like, what are you actually thinking of? Because, like I said, you said 35, then you come down to 5, and I'm challenging you on that. I'm saying, I don't really think it's 5 either. It could be. If it is, tell me. But if we can lose 30 years so quickly, maybe we can lose more. Maybe there's more to add. So, what do you really want?
Um. hmm, 5 years.
You
Yeah.
sure,
5.
Cruz?
I think I'm already comfortable with what 35 looks like,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know what 5 looks like.
What do you want to see in 5 for your money?
Mm-hmm.
What could your money look like compared to right now? What could your money in Panjam look like that would make you go? yeah, this was the best thing to do for the past 5 years.
Well, I never really had anything like that in mind.
Imagine
Well, you
that.
were
So what
thinking
could
for
I?
35, but acting for 5.
No. It's more along the lines of just curiosity. Like, what does that?
So where the 5 come from?
It's based on um that move that they made to try to raise capital for 100 million US, as well as the JP, the transfer of assets. Uh,
Yeah, man. Hold on, Cruz. You're repeating yourself. You're saying the same data points
yeah,
again
so
and again and again and again
that's
and
where
again.
like
Hold
So
on.
so you're
But
basing.
what do you want
I,
in
I,
5 years? What could
I'm
happen to your money in
curious.
5 years?
I'm curious about what everything looks like in about say 5 years.
Yeah, but why are
But
you curious?
yeah, you have to really go back to where your money should be doing.
I so you guys
You work out a retirement for 35 years.
as a
But you said no, you're not looking for 35 years.
no,
You're looking at 5 years.
my retirement.
So
No, don't no, hold on. Don't fall for the red herring. You say if you say you're looking for 5 years,
Mhm.
what do you want to see in
is
five
there
years?
what's the plan for 5 years? Your money is in Punjab. What would happen for Punjab that would make it, yeah man, this work out. Me put your money in Punjab for these last 5 years, it worked out. What would that be?
Um,
Even a price for Punjab. They're not putting more money in. So if you see the price in 5 years' time, you open a portfolio and you see it at a certain price. What
What's the
price is that?
price
That
that
is
would
a
make you
good price.
say, yeah,
Yeah
man, I
man, I
did the
did this
right
one.
thing.
Yeah
This
man.
made sense. My 5 year plan worked.
well, I never thought of that before.
That is that
That's
is
where everything
the
falls apart.
100% problem. That is the problem. Because guess what? What could I have told you now that would have made you feel good for 5 years? Nothing, because you don't know where you're going. It's just like earlier we were talking about the people with the houses. More
Mm-hmm.
want a house, but you never check to see what it costs to actually get a house. So I
So
can't help you until you know that. That's
mhm,
why I said I don't really think it's 5 years either. Why? Because you don't have a picture in 5 years that you want to see.
mhm. It's what is a I think the real conversation you want to have is JP Punjab come together. What kind of money I can make from this as soon as possible? Or in fact, the way I talked with him before, what really what happened to this thing? Does it sound like profit in a quick? Because I've been waiting. Because I've been lazy, not moving much, despite them saying them doing this big deal where
The
them
thing is
asset base
though,
fly up and all these nice things.
the thing is though, even if let's say they do a 500% increase,
Hold on. Oh, there, yeah, continue. Sorry, continue.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies. You need to do a 500% increase.
Mm-hmm.
in the stock price, I don't think that would change whether or not I sell it.
I didn't say you're selling it. I asked you what would you be happy to
Okay with
see in
yeah.
5 years. You see how quickly you come to sell?
No,
I didn't say anything about selling. I asked
because
what would you like to see in five
then I
years?
mentioned that if some short term things happen,
You don't mean they're selling. You
Forget
still
all of
want
that.
some gain in short term.
What do
No,
you want to
you even
see
said it.
in 5 years? What
Mm-hmm.
could you see in 5 years that would make you say, yes, this was the right thing for me to do with my money?
I don't think it would be in relation to the stock price though. If I was to honestly look at it in terms of 5 years,
But what were you wanting to see in 5 years then?
um, what the business looks like.
Really? But you have money in it.
Yeah,
Suppose the price down.
Suppose the business looks 10 times bigger in
The
five
price
years. What then?
then that would be a good indication.
off.
Of what?
Um, that it's a good business to be in.
Really? But suppose the share price right now is 50 for Panjam, $55.80.
Hmm.
If in 5 years the share price is $30, flat,
Mm.
but the business is 10 times bigger. Would you then think that it's a good indication still?
Yeah. I don't think I'd be that concerned with the stock price.
Really? Why not?
Um, I don't think that's a thing that I'd be looking at. I would be looking at the business to see if it's healthy, if it's growing, if it's paying dividends. Um, uh,
So it's the dividends you'd want on the money that you have in there? No.
So why you care about APO?
No, no, no. Well, yeah, well, I want him. I want him to round that out himself. If you don't really care and you don't think you care about the share price in 5 years, why did you say no so vehemently when you were asked if you'd buy more?
Yeah.
it's related um, to how I see stocks that have done APOs, they tend to perform very poorly.
In
The
terms of what?
company?
The share price?
Yeah,
But you just said the
over
share
a
price don't matter.
prolonged period of time is not.
But
How
if in
long? But you just
But
said in five
5 years,
years, the company is what you'd pay attention to, not the
yeah,
share
the price
price.
could have down and the company doing way better, you're fine.
yeah, but if it's happening over a very prolonged period of time, then
Like what? Like
But
what
we
period of time?
let's say 10 years. Then I mean,
But you told me that you care about 5 years.
well, a lot of things can happen in 5 years. But
I Cruz, work with me, work with me, work with me.
yeah,
You see, you just wanted to hear a 5 year outlook on JP from me? That's a waste. I think you could get much better from that than that. But if that's all you want, I can give you that.
mm,
But I
Panja,
think it'd be better if you sorry, Panjam, what's it,
Pan
JP?
JP. Yeah.
Pan JP. But I think if if that's what you want, you can also get a 5 year outlook from me. It sounds like everything else that you'd hear everywhere else. Might sound a little better, but if that's what you want, I just wanted to be sure because I maybe I'm thinking too highly of myself, but I think that I can help elucidate, like I can actually help give you a good view into any company that you truly care about for the reasons you care about it. But I just need to know that you really mean whatever you pick and the time period that you want me to give you it in relation to.
um, yeah, I'm curious about
About what? 5 years or 10 years?
5 year.
All right. Along which lines are you curious? What would you like to see in 5 years that would make you say this was the right place for me to put my money?
Um, what the overall business looks like, if it's growing.
And
Uh,
but you don't care about the share price. That's important for me
I
to know.
wouldn't say I would care about the share price, but I wouldn't say
So you do.
yeah, I care about the share price, but
And what share price level would you need to see in 5 years that you'd say, okay, I am happy that my money is still in JP, in Panjam. No, 5 years later.
probably like a 3x or 4x.
300 or 400% growth.
Yeah,
But if you saw less than that, you would say that it didn't make sense.
no, I wouldn't say that.
What level of share price could you see that would make you say, oh, it never makes sense?
Uh, in a 5 year period,
That's what you said.
if it's probably declining over that 5 year period, if it's just in constant decline.
So we're at March 2028.
Yeah.
What share price, what's the share price that you could see in March 2028 that would make you go, oh no, this was a waste of my time? It's at $55.80 now.
If it's if it's at this price or below this price.
Well, you said 5 minutes ago that the share price wouldn't factor for you. No, you're saying if it's still at
You said
55,
if it was at 30, it'd be fine.
so no, you're saying that if it's still at 55.80 5 years from now, that would be a fail for you.
I wouldn't say it's a complete fail, but it's. I would definitely take it as a indicator.
Disappointment. Okay, so what is let's do this clearly. What is the lowest percentage increase in the share price that you could see in 5 years and say this is still worth it? Meaning, let's say it was 6%. That would mean that if it's 5%, you'd say this is not worth it. But if it's 6%, okay, this was worth it. Now, maybe not the greatest, but this is worth it. What's the lowest that number can be? And you can, in 5 years, and you can say, okay, this was worth it.
What price you say it is now?
$55.80.
Probably 150. How much percent?
Oh, as in the dollar price has to be 150?
Yeah.
So that's the lowest that you could see it at, and it's still worth it for you.
Yeah.
So that's by the way, that's 268% growth.
Yeah.
So if you saw anything less than 268% growth, you'd say it's not worth it for you.
I would look at it as maybe I need to reevaluate this as something to hold over the very long run.
All right. So what is the lowest price that you could see
Calvin Austin.
and say that, okay, this is still okay?
That's it. The 150. Right.
So if it's but you say if it's 100, okay, so if it's 100, if it was 140, you would say, boy, this never really makes sense.
Mm,
And then you push it to long term.
I probably would not say that.
What's the price that you would say that at?
Because the 140 is very close to the 150.
What's the price that you'd say it at? 5 years from now, if it's at this price, you're like, this never makes sense.
You hearing me?
I'm
Yeah,
hearing
man.
you, but I don't hear the price yet.
Hello?
Yeah,
They were
man, I'm
hearing you.
hearing you.
Stop,
I'm
man. I
just
said the
not hearing
price.
the
We can't hear.
price.
Yeah.
I kept getting some calls.
That's fine. So what's the price?
Yeah. I get what you're doing.
I
The
asking the
150.
outline so that I
Hello?
can tell you what it is. Hold
You
on, I
guys
hear
hearing?
it, but I not.
We're hearing you,
We're
Cruz. We're
Oh,
hearing you.
we're
okay.
hearing you. We're hearing you fine.
The 150.
But Cruz, I'm not doing something. What I say
It's
I'm doing is
still
what I actually
150.
doing. I want to hear that price. So if it was 140, you would
Are
say
close enough to
no,
the
this never makes
150.
sense.
So how far below 150 is not enough? Is
Probably
not good enough.
130.
That's really. Just answer that.
130 would be
All
too
right. So
far.
so anything above 130, yeah, okay. 130 too low.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that correct, Cruz?
Cruz,
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything
that's
below
correct.
Yeah. You're
130 is
correct.
too low. That's what you're saying. So if in 5 years the share price is just 130, you're like, yo, this never makes sense.
Cruz.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying the
Or him
one
saying,
Him say if 130 is too
no,
low.
no, no, hold on, let
anything
him
below
say, you're saying that one,
yeah, 130 would definitely be too low. But if it's
okay,
150 or
so
anything close to the 150, um,
Like
makes
131.
sense.
no,
All right, now,
131 is
so
still
I'm
too
cool
low.
with that. So 130, so
I think
130 is
anything below the
200.
140 would be too low.
So
Okay,
140 is the number.
Yeah, I
no
guess
man,
the
we're fine. I don't
140
need to
would be
get
the
it that
number.
precise.
All right, cool. Don't matter. Let's continue push through as much as we can.
All right, so Cruz, that means that
Yeah,
130, definitely too low.
but
You
you
know
guys
that's
are supposed to give me
232% profit, right?
your
You know that's
analysis
232.
on it.
If you hearing me, Cruz?
Cruz, are you hearing us?
Yeah, I'm hearing you guys.
So
All
yeah,
right,
man.
so
No talk, man. Like,
just to
I
clarify, you
just
know
not
that's
hearing Randy.
230.
he's not
You
hearing you,
hearing me?
Randy.
I realize. You hearing me now, Cruz? Cruz, are you hearing me now?
Cruz,
Yeah, I
still not hearing Randy.
no.
Oh
I see
damn.
Randy muted.
I even hear my echo on his thing on his side. He does not hear you.
Oh,
I guess
hold
not.
on.
You hearing me again, Cruz?
Um,
You might
I
need to
can
jump
see
off and come back on.
you and
You jump off and jump back on. Jump off and jump back
all
on,
right.
Cruz.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Damn. I hate that, you know. I hate it. I mean, that it seems mad annoying. Right? Let me just tell him about sorry, Panjam. I don't think anybody who thinks that might not realize how important that is. Like, outside of just saying Panjam-esque things to him, wouldn't really be answering much. Cruz, you hearing me better
Yeah, I
now?
can hear you now.
Perfect. So I just wanted to clarify something. I heard what you said about the 130. I just want you to confirm. You know that what you're confirming that if it grew 232% over the next 5 years, that would still be too low for you.
Yeah, well, we have uh, putting things into perspective.
I try to, but I just want you to know that's what you're saying, because oftentimes I find that people don't realize what they're saying. So just to be
Trust me.
clear, 232% growth over the next 5 years on that money would not be enough for you.
um, if you look at, I don't know if it's because you're using percentage, right? Seem different in my head, but
Um,
visually looking at 150 versus 55 has a different meaning.
No, it has
it
the
shouldn't.
exact same meaning.
Same meaning.
In fact, that number I just gave you is not on 150, it's on 130.
Yeah.
So you say if your money that you say you put on for your pension, if in the next 5 years it grew 232.6%, that would not be good enough for you over the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Crows, you're sure?
Yeah. I am sure.
How much your money grew over the last year?
Um, I don't think it has grown for that stock over the last year.
How much has your money grown overall, your portfolio of money?
Um, maybe like 20% overall.
But if the next 5 years gave you anything less than 230%,
You know worth it.
it's not worth it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to my guns. Yes, it's not worth it.
Yo, no, there's no need to, I just want you to be absolutely sure. So, because I'm answering along those lines.
True. I think the issue is because the answer has changed so much. Really, we don't want to move forward again. Anyway, doing this again. You see me? So
Yeah,
be real.
so that's my number.
All right. So, you want to know now about Panjam over the next 5 years and its
to give.
possibilities along the lines of the business growing and growing in such a way that the share price is also going to grow at least 230%,
Mm-hmm.
more than 230%.
Yeah.
All right. And you say you weren't seeing that before based on the things that they've shown. You weren't seeing that possibility.
I was seeing. I see some possibility, but it's not clear. It's not a certainty for me.
No, it can't be a certainty. We don't. The 5 years
At the
don't move.
market.
Yeah. It.
So what do you want to see? What kind of certainty do you want to see? Because I also don't have the 5 years. I know Panjam, no. I know JP, no. But what do you want to see?
As I said, what the business looks like, and what the share price looks like.
Well, only the share price, as long as it's more than 230%
Yeah.
growth. I can tell you, I'm not sure if I see that. If I had to bet my life on it, I might not bet my life on the share price being 230% higher
5 years.
Mm.
I wouldn't bet
in
my life
five
on it.
years.
I'd
You
find another.
would?
I wouldn't. I'll find another stock.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet my life on it being that in the next 5 years. Not to say it can't happen. I can see ways it can happen.
That's not my life.
But yeah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that either. Um, the business itself, I think in 5 years is gonna be a massive entity.
Yes, sir.
Um,
I mean, it's massive. No, and I'm gearing up.
exactly right.
Actually, it's around this time to talk. Go for it.
No. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's massive. No, it made the and what they have pointed out with this amalgamation, it's gonna turn them into like a true powerhouse, right? No, sorry. No, the fact that if you like JP as a business, Panjam is now pretty much JP. In addition to Panjam being Panjam itself already, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything that you like about JP, or most of what most people would like about JP, nothing I've ever heard anybody else. Not, there are things that I've never heard people talk about, but most of the things that I've heard, the majority of the people talk about are now under Panjam or will be under Panjam when this amalgamation goes through. When is the amalgamation supposed to go through?
That is the question.
You know, Cruz?
No, I don't know the specific time period.
What?
I
I
think
thought you're
it's this
banking
year,
on that.
and I think it's this year, but I
I
don't
think
know.
it's this year. But this year is this year. And
It's
this
only
year
three
long.
months in now.
I don't know the specific quarter that they're aiming to achieve that.
What the aiming to achieve what? Sorry.
The transfer of assets.
It hasn't happened already.
No.
Okay, when was the AGM where they asked for permission to do it?
I think it was last year, November,
They,
December.
they got the permission?
Yeah.
So they got the permission to do it already, so it's going to be
Well,
done.
they got the shareholder permission.
That's all you need. What else do you need?
I think they need a regulatory approval as well, and they need to reorganize. I think JP's business is offload the assets properly.
You think they have or they need to?
They have to.
All right. And so you think all of that is gonna happen over this year?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I think it might also require a couple of things, including like a scheme of arrangement. They have to
Would
relist the
they?
new. I think
Good.
they spoke to it that way. They spoke to
Hmm.
wanting to do that, I believe.
Why would they need to? Why would they need to? Why would they need to? Why would they need to?
They also spoke about relisting. They spoke
Punjab
about
or something
release.
else?
Exactly, well, relisting the shares, which means that there's a whole process to go through.
That is interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting, especially with what became a JP coming out of it, or what implies for JP
Mm.
coming out of it. But yeah, so I mean, let's say I agree with you also. Um, Cruz about JP, not JP, sorry, about Panjam completing it. Let's say maybe completing it this year, meaning this year 2023.
Yeah.
All right, and if they are sorry, I would read the amalgamation document because there's a limit to how much I can tell you here, just for time and boredom's sake. Um, and some of the things include some of the things include timelines, some of the things include actions. A lot of actions are all there. Uh, and and yeah, a lot of the actions are there. And so taking 1 out of the 5 years down, I would say yes. I expect that everything that's done would already be done, and anything left to be done would also be done. And in this year, and even if we push it to next year, we still have another 3 years going in your 5 years, right? Cruz, Cruz, if you're
Yeah,
talking,
yeah, I'm here.
Cruz, you actually have to talk to me, You just want me to talk, and you just listen to it and just say boom.
Yeah, I
If that's
want
what
you
you
to
want,
hear the
sure.
talk.
Okay, cool. I understand. All right. So I think that will happen over the next 5 years easily. I think that the amalgamated group will probably also raise funds. How they raise funds will remain to be seen. Maybe it'll be an APO. It's a massive entity.
What's
I
the
think they'll get all.
likelihood of an APA, you
I'm
think?
not on the board, so I don't know. Probably very
If
more
you
than
were to
50%.
guess,
More than 50%, maybe.
I think the 100 mil raise, the thing you were talking about before. I don't know if it was 100 mil, but it was posted on APO before.
Exactly.
So the question I would ask is, does JP coming into the mix change their need for an APO or their want for an APO?
I would say no. I would
Me
bank
too.
on no
Me too.
because if you can get cheap money, why not get cheap money? If you can get it while protecting yourself from dilution and dilute everybody else,
And
why
you
not
already
do it?
dilute. And you already
And if you can
dilute
keep,
Punjab one
yeah,
time.
exactly. So if you can keep control, get a stronger capital base, cash
Mm.
on the books, raw cash on the books, um, and it allow you to tool up to do bigger projects as part of this group that you're now a huge part of, huger group that you're now a part of. Why not?
I
Um,
even to a degree, I even look at them as a master APO play for JP, because
of
JP now
course,
gives Punjab
all
their
the
books
all
to
the
a good degree,
all
all
the
the assets and
APO,
everything, and
yeah.
you pretty off on APO, and you absorb the bad effects of an APO, while we just
Mhm.
hold the profits, not rebooking on the share price, and our share price isn't affected from the general market movements of an APO.
Yeah, if you want to go through the trouble of that, yeah, put it on another company. Why not? Put on one
Yeah,
you care less about and still get the benefits, right? That's a Cygnus Group model. Why not?
yes,
Um,
sir.
yeah, it's a great model to use if you have that kind of control.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
And bringing
Um,
you more to say there, but yeah.
yeah, no, yeah, I see that as a great move because it also the point behind all of this cruise is that I'm seeing it strengthening the company, strengthening Panjam, the thing you're asking about. Um, let's say that happens in year two, or let's say it happens in year one, let's say it happens in year two, let's say we'll go worst case scenario. All of this year for whatever you think might need to happen. Next year for them to be officially on and listed, then them come boom one time, APO with it same way. In fact, they'd use listing and relisting opportunity maybe as the same APO opportunity and
Mm-hmm.
list out new things then. Issue new
That's how
shares then. Yeah, I think it might be
really
massive.
sting. It was so nice. That's part, you know. I think actually, where was that? Where saw that thing? It was,
Relisting?
yeah, meeting.
No. I haven't watched any of those in a long time. I read it in the document.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, in the document.
Which one?
Um, the one from Panjam, the amalgamation document. I don't remember where in it though.
I have something here open. Let me check it. I have so much things open. I don't have much tab space left. Okay.
In exchange for the transfer of JPGH, which is um, the JP, the group that will be formed. um, Panjam will make an application. Right. Panjam will issue JP a certain number of ordinary shares as is required to meet the share exchange ratio on a fully diluted basis. Panjam will make an application to the JC for the new ordinary shares of Panjam to be allotted and issued to JP pursuant to the draft scheme of amalgamation and listed on the same terms. So when I say listing, relisting, listing of those shares, it's kind of like I hate to use the recency bias, but it's so easy sometimes. It's like
Mm-hmm.
those shares that prove issued to that gentleman that they bought the rest of the bank from.
Mm-hmm.
You still have
Ah,
to
okay.
apply for them to be listed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know what the end result is. This part I think was done from the JP being majority shareholder in Panjam, owning 34.5, having I would say operational control, a new operational control for the whole Panjam um,
Mm-hmm.
entity, a reworked control with the JP guys in there, and then well, whatever effects that has on the share price, it has,
It's not scheme of
and then
arrangement.
no, it's
Reconstruction
which is
or
yeah.
amalgamation. Different thing. Okay. But still very
Let's
important. Yeah,
people do the
I
research
know.
as to
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah. So in year three, let's say APO happens. I don't know if Cruise just put it on do not disturb. You can still get all of the messages, talk to them, but we just won't hear the notification.
Okay.
That's how it works.
Um, and then you see, I'd want to give you more details in various directions, but because I don't know what directions specifically you care about, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to just try and list off things like data points. But suffice to say that the Panjam, what that new retooled, recapital, I don't want to say recapitalized, but them have more money now from the APO that we assume that they might do. um, and then I think they'll take on some massive projects. I think there'll be parts of massive projects that will happen. Also, contain that Panjam, like I said, is also going to contain some of the best parts of JP, including Kingston Wharves. I will consider from that, like the things that are slated to happen with the port over the next few years and how it will benefit JP, which is how it will benefit the wharf, how it will benefit a lot of the entities that will now be under the new Panjam group, including Geese Line, including Kingston Wharves, including JP themselves, including Tortuga, uh, including the European juices, including Newcastle Walkerswood stuff, including the farms. Yeah, it will be great for the business. I can't see this business being any. I can see this business being maybe 5 times bigger in the next 5 years, easily, or 2 times bigger, 3 times bigger. But I can see that happening in the next 5 years. But like I said, I don't know if I see it in the share price though. And then there are other little elements that could impact that, but it depends on what you care about. But from the business side, the heavy real estate, the heavy logistic, the heavy logistic services, the heavy move the heavy, yeah, like this is a true, and if they go deeper in infrastructure, this makes it even more even stronger, even more tied into the revenue stream that this size of entity would need in order to have strong results. Do I expect dividends from it? Yeah, I expect dividends from it. I expect the dividends to continue. I expect them to rise. I expect the dividend increase over the next 5 years to be much better than the rate of return on any savings account. Um, I expect it to be better than maybe even most bonds. Um, Yeah, I don't know if any other specific areas you care about cruise, or have I said enough that you think that you're okay with this for your 5 year vision?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, man.
All right. No area or sub area that you're wondering about or whatever.
Just the APO.
But the APO works in your favor outside of your. Well,
Yeah.
assuming they do it how it's normally done outside of your share price requirement, which seems to be the more relaxed requirement at the start.
Mm, okay.
If you read us focusing on the business and saying, boy, if in 5 years you look a certain way, and I'll make a decision on holding it for a very much longer term, and APO wouldn't be a bad thing for you then. They just raise some capital. You know they're bringing new business. You know what's happening with it right now. New
You'll be
capital, that's
getting
more business on
shares.
top of it.
You'll be getting
And the
a
shares
whole
can
heap of
even
shares for
cheaper
cheap. Yeah.
for your 30-year plan down the line. Be a very long term you're looking at. So I can't say an APO working against you, in my opinion.
Yeah. Suppose they
And
do
so
like
as long as it actually fits within that long term goal, then you're fine. Which is why I said, boy, you're not buying. That's so surprising.
there'll be a great chance. But I suppose they do it in 2 years, and by then, suppose my guess for like what's happening with 138 happens. So suppose them do the APO at the same market price, and JP is more than willing to support it at that price, like how I figure GK will support um the 138, and so they just constantly eat off that. So suppose they do it that way. Suppose there's not much growth, but there's not much fall either. But then your dividend yield becomes greater and greater.
Mm.
This part I'd need to hear some of what you think in order to structure right here. But no prop cruise. If it's enough for you, it's enough for you. Link me in 5 years and let me know how it work out. Or 35 years, or both.
If we're still alive.
Well, I would like to be. I hope you are too. But
Uh,
yeah, I hope it works out.
If they're based on the graph, 5 years from now, yeah, well, we should be alright.
Oh yeah, based on the
We said we've been
prevailing
alive
winds.
for almost 20. We can shape Maggie.
Yeah, shout out to Shape Magic.
Interesting thing.
In 5 years, Shape Magic will have more impact on the local market, I think, and in 35
You
years
think they're
certainly
we might have less brokies by then.
less brokerage.
Brokies.
I don't know. That's a good question. Will there be more people? You think there'll be more rich people in Jamaica than or less
More.
numerically?
More.
Percentage of population.
That is the question.
Yeah, what do you think? The next 5 years.
Percentage? Huh, that's interesting. What do you call it rich? Give me a threshold. I think
More
generally
this
we'll be generally richer.
more disposable income. Yeah, we would understand that disposable income is the top part of the earning class. So needs complete. I don't want to say something as simple as a bigger middle class. But yeah, I guess a bigger middle class
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
as a percentage of the total Jamaican population.
yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think so too. I think we'll have a crap load more rich people in the next 5 years. And I think we'll
Yes,
have a
sir.
crap load more middle class people in the next 5 years.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think hopefully we'll have a lot more people overall in the next 5 years too. We need more people.
Their part, their part.
I see. Sir Phil, are you there? I see Richard Pedler. Thank you, by the way, for that cruise. As Richard Pedler said, I speak request. Well, Sir Cruz, are you there? Not Sir Cruz, Sir Phil. Sir Phil
My
look like him
earphones
drop
are
asleep.
rebelling.
Yeah, either that or Twitter giving us trouble. Richard Pedler, can you hear us? I don't know if him talking out here at all, or just is connecting. So then, what's your one stock? Or then I not hearing either. All right, I'll tell what my one stock would have been without. You hear me now, Danai? You muted.
All right, hearing you. No, what's up?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I showed him for Phil, but I not heard him at all. It looked like him drop out. So I was asking what's your one stock. I was about to tell what mine was
Hmm.
before what I would have picked
I actually
outside
want to
of
go first too,
JP.
because I
But
want to hear what you say. Like, I don't think the Panjam really. That's going on with this.
oh no, yeah, the Pancham would not have been my one stock
I know,
at
not
all.
necessarily just the way you spoke about it. I didn't feel like the way you wanted to, based on.
Yeah,
I
cause
think
I
because
don't.
of how Cruz approached it,
I think so.
especially at
Yeah,
the
cause
start.
I
I was not really sure the direction
yeah,
what he actually wants to go in and here.
and I need to know that in order to know what to
Yeah.
say,
So with that in mind,
like what to speak to.
Phil, you there?
I
No,
still
Phil.
need a
So I would say
direction.
you probably should go first. Yeah.
I'd go first. I see Richard Pedler send a speaking
Yeah,
request
we're still
twice,
connecting.
approving twice. All right, I guess if he connects. What would I have picked? Without that, I was up in the air about it. Probably. I hate. That's probably gonna call main event actually.
So I was trying to stay away from things that I've been talking about recently.
There's that right, but then I had really
That
been
sound good,
looking
man.
at. I was really been
You're
looking.
Phil.
Oh, so suddenly Phil is
And that's
back.
why actually, and that's also why I never went to the main event because I think Phil won the main event.
I don't know if that's it. So Phil, that's the start that you had in mind.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah,
Oh, look at
me
that.
know,
All
man.
right, all right. Well, let's go. Let's go,
Coincidence.
Sir Phil. What were you thinking about? You're asking about main event in against what background, what timeline, what kind of thinking?
I in context. Well, I mean, the results came out. In terms of what you're asking, what context or timeline. I mean, I've been buying main
Yeah,
event.
my earphones are dying.
Um,
We try the next phone.
No problem.
okay,
Remember to mute.
yeah,
Sorry, Phil. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, man. I've been buying main event. Um, with the aim to have a.
Well, everybody's
It's
shy
supposed to be
tonight.
a simple goal. No, 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 no.
It don't have
So
to be a simple goal. It can be a complex goal, but you can simplify it. Like,
right.
or what
Just
time
to
period would you
simplify.
like? What time period would you like to be? I like to do the same stuff I asked Cruz. What time period would you like to have to benefit from main event?
I'm looking at 2 years.
2 years, so shorter. Okay,
Yeah. Um,
and
being able to get out at with it at a price of $30.
$30. Just for
Yeah.
everybody's context, main event is right now $12.51.
Yeah.
$12.51. So you're saying that over the next 2 years you want 239, call it 240% growth.
Yes, that's right.
You bought main event already?
Yeah, man. I bought. My average price is actually less than that. It's 10.26.
Damn. Damn. So you want 292% growth, or you're not happy over the next 2 years?
Yeah.
Would you take less? What's the lowest point that you take? The lowest amount of growth you take?
In that time, 150%.
150%. Word. 150% what, growth or profit?
Uh, Growth. So that'll be like $25, yeah.
Isn't
Mm.
I think we're using that word wrong.
What do you mean?
150% growth would be 150% profit.
Would it?
Yeah, it grows by
Yeah, that's true.
150%.
If you triple one thing, you have how many things now?
You have three things, but you have 200% growth. You grew by 200%.
Yes. Yeah.
So tripling is what? Tripling isn't 300% growth? I'm not saying you're wrong. I
No,
want to be sure.
tripling is 200% growth. Tripling is just
Correct.
300%. Your current value is 300% of what it was.
Right.
You have 300% of what you started with.
Because
All
1x
right, so
is no growth and 2x is 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
numerical growth involves adding new members while maintaining the current
Yeah.
amount. Hmm.
I think we're confusing people with how we use it. Kind of read.
I tried to simplify it by asking
I'm
profit, but
trying to find an easy way to say it. So 200% growth is 300% what?
sorry, ask that
Oh,
again. You said 200% growth is 300% is tripling.
it's tripling. So 300%. We use like a 150. What an easy way to say it, right? So 150. If
Use one.
I know, but
Don't.
Cruz example was a 268% growth, which was really was 168% growth. He will just need 268 of his current money, which is 68% growth.
No, I was doing the math too. Okay, keep everybody on one page. If you buy the stock at $1 and you sell it at $3, how much growth is that?
200%.
Yeah.
Okay, which is also what we call profit.
Yeah.
Are you're 100% sure about that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. I am.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're on the same page. I like talking about profit. So going back to Surfield, Surfield, you say that you are you say that you are looking for 150% profit.
Hmm.
Yes or no? I
Yes.
might be.
My goal is 30, which is 298%. Is it? Not 298.
But what's it? Remember, you say average price is $10 and what?
$10.26.
Okay, so 30 is 192% profit on
Right.
top of your money.
192%.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. All right. And what is your lowest amount that you would be okay with and saying, well,
And
okay, this
then
made sense. The lowest makes sense amount.
right. So that was 25, which is
That was 25.
yeah. That's 143%.
143% profit. Correct. All right.
Yeah.
And it was achieving that goal, the achievement of that goal that made you go into to main
Main
event.
event. Yeah, man.
Okay. In the next 2 years, $30. Hmm. Hmm. Boy. All right. I don't know if there's anything else you had in mind.
Um, eh, I mean, any other
Point or anything.
regarding
So,
main event? Points regarding
yeah,
main
as
event?
in like you wanted. Not that I'm
I'm,
saying that I was going to talk about it, but what I had in mind thinking about it over the next 2 years. I mean, almost certainly. Main event
mhm.
currently is like a post-COVID monster in my view, right?
Yeah,
They took COVID. I've said it before. We have spoken about it a couple of weeks on here. They took COVID. They reorganized themselves. They got more efficient, and I'm talking efficient in terms of delivery of how they work, and also financial efficiency, including that nice one. How much of that revenue make it to the bottom line? Um, and of course, in terms of potential, they continue to, I think, grow in terms of their potential with what they're doing now and what they can go into and what they're going into, like their growth industries. Uh,
yeah,
so they've been doing events for a while. They learn how they handle events with COVID. That's one of the strongest things that they did. Them, like I said, they learned a lot out of COVID. They reorganized the business, I think, to be much, much, much more efficient. Their second to last set of results. In fact, their third quarter last year, they just put out their first quarter of this year results, this financial
right,
year. But their third quarter last year, something I said on here is that they made 123.8 million in profit. And there were years, their best year before that, they didn't make as much profit in that entire year, in those entire years, as they made in those 3 months, the third quarter of
correct,
last year. They
correct.
ended last year with the fourth quarter at 47 million, and the full year result being 151 million in profit. I know they put out their first quarter profits. They put out their first quarter profits of this financial year that they're in, 2022-23 financial year. And the quarter for that, the profits for that quarter from November to January of this year, $117.9 million.
Yep.
Again, that quarter,
And in
second best quarter ever, and bigger than their previous amazing years of 2018 and 19.
yeah,
Um,
and
I, I,
almost as big as last year in one quarter,
correct,
meaning
almost
the
as
whole
big as
year
their
was
record
150 odd
year. True,
in
and in
one
one
quarter.
quarter, yeah. In one quarter, they're almost as big as that, and the second biggest quarter ever. And I won't say off the top of my head if it's usually a bad quarter for them, the first quarter, but I don't think so. Because the November to January
No.
quarter, so it includes end of year, Christmas stuff, includes New Year parties. I think the
Yeah.
last one would have included Burna Boy,
Yes, it would have. The
and
Q4 is the one that's usually down.
mhm, that's
Yeah,
August to
yeah,
October for them.
right.
Yeah, so massive, 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 obviously massive opportunity. That moving along from just the massive opportunity in terms of how they've been working, um, what's been happening to them, what's been said by them externally, not ex no, what has been said by them, obviously is going to be said externally. What keeps coming to mind, from my mind at least, is their CEO Solomon saying, Solomon Sharp. I remember a quotation from him saying that how he would love to get was it 500 million? 500 million of low
Yeah,
cost debt right
Yeah,
now.
yes,
yeah.
sir.
Look, no, cheap money.
No, cheap money. Cheap money. You
Yeah.
don't
Cheap
say
money.
He
that.
Yeah,
didn't say
sorry.
that. He
I'm
said
giving it
cheap
the
money.
TV. I'm giving it the you sorry, you guys are correct. I said low cost debt. He said cheap money.
Hmm.
Subtle but important difference because as we know, cheap money might be a raise, right?
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
still on the junior market. 2022 was their fifth year, so now they move up to the half tax. And in my anecdotal view, companies tend to do interesting things around that point. Um, Now this would be their sixth year, but considering 2022 was COVID and it would have been hitting them particularly
Correct.
hard, I think,
Particularly.
yeah, man, I think that now that we see the resurgence of them and hearing a comment like that and seeing some of the moves that they've been making, to me, make it look like they're likely to raise. Them being on the junior market, I would like to think would cap the amount that they would want to raise. Um, these days, you can never tell how a raise will go, or if it will happen again. This is pure speculation on my part. But we're looking on that 2 year timeline that Phil said. I could see them raising in the next 2 years. Um, Even just looking at the core business, them beating everybody. I think now they have more competition though. I think the people who have also alongside them survived COVID. I think all of them to survive it, you had to get leaner, you had to get stronger.
And stronger, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, man, and I think all of them have done that. So I think they have stronger competition now in some arms of their business. But along with that stronger competition and that stronger overall business, I think they have stronger potential. So they have really strong potential in, I think maybe in related companies, things like the what's the name of that group?
The iPrint group.
iPrint Group. Thank you. I
Hmm.
think IPG. Yeah, the iPrint Group, where they share. I think they share directors. I'd love if there was
Yeah.
some. I love if they list that and there was some synergy, including main event owning the
A
thing.
piece.
Yeah. Let me go even deeper speculative and carry it in a real way. The Lost in Time concert, I think, got a lot of people thinking again about parties in a way that I haven't really heard people talking about parties since maybe the last days, which funny enough was the same
Yes.
Cheers members in it, right? But you remember
Same
back
guy.
back way those years ago when Jamaica's partying, um, partying hard, $500 parties, $700 parties, 2 grand parties. I think a 2 grand party then is probably like a 20 grand party now in terms of the experience. But one,
Hmm.
I was thinking about that, and I thought about how companies in main events line of business, how they grow. And I was looking at that against the background also of the latest set of results and some of the things that they said. They spoke about part of the reason why they could grow recently, they being main event. Part of the recent growth, they spoke about it being linked to them doing more business in arms of the business where they can do it all in house. Or to use their
Yeah.
exact words, in addition to our operational efficiency and cost containment efforts, and I'm reading from the latest MD&A, the company benefited from improvements in sales activities from revenue streams that require little external support. So something that then can eat off completely in-house or mostly in-house, right? So you can keep all of the margins, you own the vertical. And I thought
Hmm.
Main Event themselves being a promotional, or they describe themselves as a promotional, so they use a term that I like, entertainment promoter, agent, and manager, right? So they do events really. A company like that, I'm thinking if you're thinking large scale, how do I expand that business? And tie into that comment of being able to make the most money from things where you control the vertical. So you don't have to go outside for anything. Obviously, like parties, I thought about like, yo, them putting on parties. And not just them putting on parties blindly, but a good set of events. But imagine a good set of events where they are controlling the entire vertical. So they're doing the ads, they're them booking the party, managing the whole event, doing the ads for the whole thing through their marketing side, um, getting the best deal on the venue because of the pros that they have and the money that they have, being able to execute the thing best because they execute great events. Um, and you're doing the whole thing, so them keep the entire money. They eat all of the margins off every step of the process. If you were to do something like that, it would only make sense, right? And if you were going to do something like that, you'd probably want to manage all your costs. You want to have space. You want to either have a space that you have leased or you have a really good relationship with. So you want to keep continuous events there. So I know that we can use the space and we get the best deal on using it, or we earn off it.
Yep.
And then I think about the fact that they have that agreement with SVL, right?
Yep.
And SVL is what the second
The
largest owner
second largest. Uh,
of
Shareholder.
second largest.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah, of main event and owning 10% and main event themselves speaking about that partnership along the lines of them having many things that they have in mind to do, including Cayman itself. And I then thought about bringing me back to that Lost in Time concert point. The Lost in Time concert was great, but it was just that. I mean, you could have put it anywhere in Jamaica, and it would have been great because the setup and the execution and everything. Now, I don't know if main event had anything to do with that event, but I'm thinking if the Lost in Time concert was at Caymanas, I wouldn't feel any different about it.
Yes,
I wouldn't feel any
that
differently
venue.
about it, right? Yeah, it's just a different venue. Now, if main event were to have put on an entire thing themselves, if they were to put on an entire thing themselves,
They
and
would be.
they yeah they would eat consistently, right? And if they could lock a
Mm,
venue, so I think about like overseas, Ticketmaster and them place, those companies, a large part of why they are able to do what they do is that they also own the venues,
mm-hmm.
right? I believe like could be wrong, so let me look this up. Ticketmaster, I think I hear myself echoed. Did I?
Yeah, I hear you
Yeah, I
echoing.
hear you echoing. Then I need to mute. I don't think he
I
can
don't think
hear
you
us.
can hear us. He's muted now. Yeah, the echo gone.
There we go. I think there's some I know Madison Square Garden, there's Live Nation, like a lot of these a lot of these a lot of these event companies in the US also own event spaces because you control all vertical, then all events that happen there, you benefit because if you want to use my let's pretend that happened with Caymanas. Okay, if you want to use Caymanas for a big event, yeah, if you want to use Caymanas for a big event, you can get it at let's say $1 million a day, right? $1 million an hour, or half million or whatever. Um, but if you use our event partners, you can get it at 800K an hour,
Right,
right? And of course,
right,
the
yes.
event partner being main event. And if you can use main event on their own for something else, but if you're doing it at one of our events, let's say main event for this for a X size event, then the cost is 5 million. But if you're doing it at one of our event spaces, then the cost drops to 4 mil, whatever, right? So they create their own synergies that way. Um, that's like I just thinking over like maybe the next 5 to 10 on how it would work. But then you could start seeing the build out and the benefits from that from even in year one or year two. Now, if they are looking to raise money, which I don't know to raise money, but we're just going off what the comment from the CEO, and also little things like the fact that they've been aggressively paying down their debt,
Yep.
aggressively paying off the debt that they have. All of those
Despite it
signs to
being
me look despite
pretty,
it not even pretty light, something that in my view I think that they could knock out in one quarter if they truly wanted to.
yeah.
um I mean in the last quarter they had they had 267 million in terms of cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet their debt, if memory serves me correct, I don't think they have triple digit debt.
Like 60 something, 60, like 60 something million, yeah.
Yeah, the current portion of the debt, the 84 million Sagicor loan, the current 84.6 million Sagicor loan, they had a 20 mil loan left with NCB that they paid off already. So they only had 84.6 million with Sagicor, and the current portion of that, the portion that's due within the next 12 months, is 23 million. So the
Mm.
non-current bit is 60 million. That's less than the amount of cash them have on hand.
A lot
Like it
less,
looks,
yeah.
and they are knocking in some profits that are heavy. And Carnival don't start yet. The new
Yeah.
summer isn't even back yet. I see. I tweeted out something the other day about a dot. I think I tweeted it as a dot. Maybe I did. I didn't. Chance the Rapper talking about his that festival that he had
Yeah,
in
the
Ghana and
festival,
wherever.
Black Star
Wanted,
Line.
yeah, man, Black Starlight wanted to have it in Jamaica, which you can't have certain things of a certain size, I gather, without main event. And I'm pretty sure that not saying that they have anything to do with that, but it's something that I'm looking on as just where the entertainment space in Jamaica is going over the next few years. Uh, and the fact that I think if the CEO was saying they want money soon, or not want money soon, but they would love to get cheap money soon, and along the same lines of me wanting to see it, they have a whole heap of room to raise money in
Yes.
terms of the junior market limit, right? They have maybe
They have
almost 400 million worth.
103, yeah.
Yeah,
103 million is their existing capital. That's what they raised in the IPO. So
yeah,
it's almost 400 million in room.
yeah. 396 million in terms of space. Uh,
And we didn't talk about Dream, which is one of their related parties. That's
which
what
is
they.
another yeah, right, another related party that that could
Yeah.
do well, and and has branched out like the Dream Cruise. I don't know details behind
Mm-hmm.
that, but I think it's going well. Um, there's also I don't know that came on as SVL link there. The came on as the SVL, what was it called? SVREL,
SVREL, yeah.
yeah,
Dream
which is
Ventures.
headed by Solomon Sharp.
Correct.
Yeah, who chaired, I think, by Solomon Sharp. Um, and he's spoken very well about that. And SVL himself has spoken about the synergies they expect, them talking about going even into as far
Production.
as production and tourism and
Mm-hmm.
tourism, whatever, and how main event has apart. Look at the comments that were made around main event when SVL bought that stake in them. Um, and then pair that now with the stronger main event coming out, doing multi-year results in the space of 3 months, multiple times. Um, and yeah, I think
Yeah.
they're an
Whole
amazing
heap
company. I
of
mean, I
things.
have money in them based on that potential I see, and I'm still buying. And I guess I'm not the only one. I notice it's been going up the last few days. The results just came out and it fell. You know how the rule go. Good
Mm-hmm.
results, price falls. Bad results, price falls further. But I mean, these results were truly, truly, truly
These
stellar.
are very good results, and then
Amazing
I mean
results, yeah.
after the results, if you look at before the results and after results, they are up.
Oh yeah, this is
They
the
went.
most they've been up in a long time. The day of the results, not the day of the results actually. I think today, not today. Sorry, yesterday.
Yesterday was results.
Yesterday was the day of the results, and yesterday they traded at the highest they've traded in a long, 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 long time.
Yeah,
$13.90.
1390.
In fact, I
Yeah.
think that's the highest they've
Yeah, but
traded
that's the highest
ever,
ever. That's the highest
ever.
ever,
Yeah.
yeah.
But so then, yeah.
And I mean, we don't even talk about the weddings. I mean, because the
So there's
tourism
also that.
industry booming
Yeah. I
is
some things I
huge
didn't
for
even want
M
to even
style.
say. I didn't even want to say, but you bring it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Looking at the last audit, and looking at just they broke out the cost for M Style and the revenue from M Style.
Yep,
And I think the margins, just looking at those two in terms of margins, that's a 60 odd percent
yep.
margin business within main event. I mean, if you think about it also, M Style is an example of revenue generating sections of the company that don't necessarily require any external input. They can do a wedding off their own equipment, their own people, their own everything.
Mm-hmm.
And
For
weddings
sure.
are expensive, like stupidly expensive. Having never paid
I
for a wedding. No
I
offense to anybody who's married, but yeah, tell
I
us
can
you.
tell you for sure. Yes. And yeah.
No, yeah, man. Weddings are
I'll leave
crazy.
it
I
at
know
that.
you know who I know everybody knows that weddings are crazy. You ever hear the two call trick? Like call somewhere and ask how much to rent the venue, and then call back and ask how much to rent the venue, but say you're using it for a wedding.
Yes. Different.
Two different price. You want to rent this hall? 30 grand for an hour. Or you want to rent this hall for a wedding? 90 grand per hour. Right?
Man.
Yeah, man. Flowers, I gather flowers is like the killer. Flowers are expensive. Photographers, yo, you want to rent a good high level person with a camera for for 2 hours, yeah, it might cost you 50 or 60 grand or 100 grand, who knows? You rent a really good wedding photographer, and like 1 million is not a strange number these days for
No, no.
a good wedding photographer, right? Um, and of course, it's like it's not captive market, but it has the same sort of thing around it because you're getting married, especially if it's your first time getting married, you're probably thinking, I'm only ever gonna get married once. You,
Yeah,
you need
man.
to
You're
make it. It's a
pulling out all
special
the
day.
stops.
Yeah, man, it's a special
Mm-mm.
day. So you can price high. Okay, go and get a substandard photographer, or go and get a substandard venue, or go and get a substandard events company. So yeah, you can press on the price, and what you could do for a party, maybe the same level of effort for a party, you could put that same level of effort into a wedding, and for a party you might make 10-20% margins. For a
Mm-hmm.
wedding, 60% margins, and rinse and repeat. Small, yeah, yeah. I don't know for sure if this how it's going, but M style to me look like another part of um, that massive thing. And then you mentioned the tourism. I don't know if you're talking about tourism, like the destination wedding experience. That's what you're thinking.
Right. So, on multiple fronts, yeah, there's a destination wedding thing. There is the fact that another one of their related companies um actually operates the Ocho Rios cruise terminal. So they have synergies within the tourism industry. Lannaman Shipping
Mm-hmm.
is the name of it. So they operate the Ocho Rios cruise ship terminal, and so I can see where tourism related events would involve, but because main event has so many different things that they do. They I mean, they rent the digital signs, they rent screens, they, as I said, they put on all the events.
And
I mean, you
ju-
can
just
foresee
to
a lot of synergies.
just to cut you there, I also like not just the good stuff, but also like the competition. They're facing more competition in that sector. We have iCreate also going into that space, right?
Yes,
You have existing entities in that space,
the
and
lab is actually their competition too.
in
People don't say that in terms of advertising.
in terms of, yeah, because they do
Yeah,
have
production.
production, and I believe they have a marketing arm. I don't know if the marketing arm is
Yeah, Mystique is a digital marketing related
I,
company, no?
yeah, I don't know if it's related. I don't know if it's under the group itself. Yeah, sorry, then I sound giving him trouble again. Uh, Sorry, but yeah, that was my idea behind it, which is why, like I said, I do own it. I do keep, I do keep buying more. Uh, it's crazy because even at the start of the year, even when I think the first time I talked about this thing was at $4 at the end of January, $4.11. No, that's
Yeah,
January 2022. My apologies. That's a year and a couple of
yeah,
months.
man. 2022. Yeah.
But yo, wow,
But I see
that
Yannick put in the group. Go ahead.
no, I just point out that that is also impressive. Meaning, wow, I
Four
never,
dollars. That's 3x
yeah,
almost.
yeah. But you'd have to be the fool in air quotes, a fool who was buying it
When
at
there were no events
yeah,
in
man,
January
at the end of
2022.
2020, yeah, 2021. For it started
Yeah.
2022 at $4.50.
Hmm.
Wow, $4.50. It started 2022 at. That is crazy.
Randy, do you hear an echo?
No.
Okay. I'll
Just hear
leave
you
it at
fine.
this. Okay, cool. This works.
All right.
Yannick just pointed out in the group that SNB under the Norbert group is one of their competitors. It's one of their biggest competitors, I think. But they certainly do. I have heard of events where they do work together.
Yeah, I think in that
And
space
that's,
you kind of have to work together.
yeah, exactly. They work together with Phase. I always get that number one wrong. Phase 1 or
3.
Phase 3? I think it's Phase 3.
That's what I'd love if they listed. I was hoping
Yeah,
that the
that would be
competition
nice.
would be so. I was hoping that the competition would be so rough on phase three that they'd be pressured into listing, but still just a dream so far.
Looks so.
Yeah, but I hope they
But
get
the
pushed to the market. Say
main
that again,
event probably
Danhai?
needs another push, another big push.
I don't know. I think they're getting pushed in every area, you know. I was saying earlier that I think in every area that they exist and dominate, I think they're getting proper competition from everybody who survived the pandemic. The people who survived the
Uh-huh.
pandemic got better. You
Oh
had to
yeah.
get better to do it. So I think no, in the event space they have competition in the event management, the
No,
PRS
I'm
and
event.
whoever
Main
it
event
is.
needs to push more on phase 3 at this point than those.
Oh, yeah.
I think that at this point I've turned the pressure because phase 3 was doing out of the same let's fix our thing during COVID.
Yeah.
What I saw was that the informal space got a bit stronger too. Be-
You think so?
The Yes, based on what I was seeing, what I was hearing, based on questions I asked too. The after competition for them during COVID time, I mean informal space where supply the COVID the dances that were not supposed to be held in COVID. So yeah,
Oh
they
well yeah, but I
couldn't
mean
touch it,
also
but there was a guy
Right.
touching it. So that guy now not guy, but you get me. Anybody else doing that now, coming out of it, they are healthy and have a further, and we're doing work that the other guy just couldn't do.
but I think now that them
Right,
free up,
right,
you
Uh,
right.
think that smaller set of people can still get them that level of
I
competition?
yeah, not at all. Not. I was thinking there's a strength there
Maybe
And viable.
may,
has caused some market space to those people.
okay, I get you. I get you. I, Phil, what did you think? So I hope I've touched enough of those points to give you my idea about what I think is happening with them and how I feel about them, with all of the beautiful things, including me thinking they might have a race. I do personally think they'll have a race within the next 2 years, if not this year. Um, they look like they're doing all of the signs right for me. I think outside of that, the company itself is just putting out some strong results. Like if you believe in the fundamentals, which I mean, it's not possible to not believe in them. They are there. If you believe in what the typical fundamentals, the business is massively strong and growing. It pays a dividend and it is pulling down debt that doesn't seem to need to be pulled down, in my view, which I take it as part of why they I think they're gonna raise. They have a whole heap of space to raise and still stay below the junior market limit. I think maybe they were also maybe part of the set of companies that might have been
Hmm.
waiting for the Minister of
Junior
Finance
market
to
limit.
speak. Yeah, to see if the limit would have been raised. Now that the limit isn't raised, I suspect we'll have a couple of companies coming forward and just
Just going
completing their
ahead with it.
raises.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope that main event is part of that. The main event, to be clear, has not said that. The only thing said about any money is the CEO saying, in what might have been an offhand comment, I would love to get, was it 500 million on
Yeah,
cheap money?
and if he was talking with interest
Hmm.
rates in mind, I think so.
Exactly. And interest rates are even higher now, or like a 12% lock across the board for some companies. Not that they couldn't get lower, they being main event, but few things are as low
Yeah,
as free.
not so easy at all.
Yeah, give up a little equity, get a little, give up some equity, get a push for if you have something to do with it, and then nowhere
And the
post-COVID.
parents, they have a lot
No, go
of
ahead.
equity in the company, so it's not far-fetched, for them to be, they could give up a 10%.
Or I have
But
a lot
I
of
think
equity in the
they,
company when it was much cheaper. I saw this grow on the market. I
Yes.
see what I know.
Mhm.
When you were raising 100 and something million, it was a big thing for you. But then no, you have the capacity to raise 300 and something on top of it, and you're fine. And the money,
yeah, and there are ways of getting around the
yeah, so I
dilution too.
can see where they'll be very fine putting more on top of it.
Yeah,
And good broker made that easier.
that's right, and they're associated with the best, in my opinion.
Well, I can't say no to that.
The
They
third,
are
that's what the
associated.
third biggest shareholder is Mayberry Jamaican Equities.
Whose
And
largest holding also is SVL,
Supreme Venture.
which is the second biggest
Curator
shareholder.
Holdings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Say
a
that again,
Curator
Daniel?
Holdings.
Their
Yeah, I
most
mean, it only makes sense. The best way
the
if
most
it's one you
recent
call.
addition to their board is a member of the Mayberry board. I suspect that is a replacement for Tanya Waldron Gooden.
What that?
Replacement in the Gladstone Lewis. He's the most recent addition to main event board. He's on Mayberry board. But Tanya Waldron is on main events board and would have been a Mayberry representative there.
You
But then
sure
she
about that?
gone?
No, she's still on main events board, but she's not. She left
Mayberry.
Mayberry.
But who says
So
that she was
I'm just
there as Mayberry's representative?
well, I get yeah. So these are assumptions.
Which are fine.
Mayberry did right just based on what I see. That's an assumption I'm drawing.
When did Lawrence join?
Recent. He's 3 months ago.
So why would okay? So wouldn't
Yeah. Why would
have
it
to
take
kind
so
of
long?
believe that
Yeah, because Tanya left long time.
But okay, if we work with your theory, then feel that okay that they are on it as the representative of this
yeah.
entity. Well, she's still
Yeah.
on it, so wouldn't she still
As
represent the
a
entity?
director.
No, but she's no longer on.
Main event.
She's no longer
Yeah,
with
we know,
Mayberry.
but she might not have been there as a thing there. She might have just been a Mayberry.
But who tells you what makes you think that the person that if you're putting somebody on a board for like your board seat, the person doesn't have to work at your
Yeah.
company.
And me and also the next way around too. The person being on a board represent
Doesn't necessarily mean they're representing the company.
a different
I get you.
could just be interest aligned is fine, but it doesn't mean she was there for that specifically. So yeah. And I'm not saying you were wrong.
And
I just
Yeah, you have to check your
yeah,
assumptions.
open
Agreed. I understand.
but it makes
sense.
not just that it makes sense. It makes the idea then that if you thought that and she's still on the board and you see they put somebody else on the board that you think is also maybe linked, it could also mean there are two people on the board.
Heavier representation on the
Yep.
board, maybe.
Or maybe this person Luars is this person on SVL's board.
He's on several boards, but not
Not
SVL. He's on JN. He's on Kingston Properties. He's on something else.
Mayberries, Gladstone
Mayberry.
Luars, you talking?
Yeah. And and things like the Students Loan Board, Bureau, and so forth. But he's on those three public. Well, JN is not public, but Those three major corporate boards, I would say. I had it up in a window. I can't find the window.
All right, but I mean, regardless, so we think that there is some value there
Yeah.
at that top
And
level.
there's a SVL representative too. She
Oh,
was
who's
appointed
the
in
SEO
September.
representative?
Well, again, I'm assuming, but she's Catherine Francis. She's the head of legal at SVL, and she was appointed to main events board in September.
Hmm.
But I mean, that makes this is the same. That's the same year that SVL took a 10% stake in main event. No?
Mm. So that's why you
That
tied the
happened
two
like
together. I'm
February,
not saying
March.
that you're
So
wrong.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of tying that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying that you're wrong at all. It just makes a
Hmm.
stronger case. So all the stakeholders seem to truly be stakeholders down to the equity level.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was another point that you had made the point from their audited about the margins for M style.
Hmm.
But they also have heavy audio and film also has heavy margins, at least operating margins, and in fact is the
Yeah,
second biggest
production.
revenue line, yeah, after event.
Mm.
In fact, they have like 77% margins on that operating margin with
Yeah,
audio and film.
yeah, it's a
And the reason I brought that up is the boost to the audio and the audio, sorry, not the audio, to the film industry that Minister Clark spoke about.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did speak about in his speech. So I suspect that the companies like Main Event
Mhm.
stand to benefit from that. I'm trying to and any efforts at boosting that industry.
I think so.
Yeah.
And of course, events. You say it's the second biggest. What's the biggest? Events.
Event
Okay. And shout
hosting.
out again to Jan who shared that quote that I was speaking about, where he said he was speaking at the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce event, and this is October of last year, and he said exactly, at least as quoted by the Gleaner article. So apologies if it's wrong. I wish I had low interest money now to expand main event because I feel so confident now. We are looking for 500 million of low interest money, so we are going to be aggressive. So that's why I said loans, because if it says
Low interest
low
money.
interest money, yeah,
Gotcha.
interest implies loans, yeah. Um, and I don't know if it's low interest. No, I mean you borrow and then you raise and pay off the loan early, so you have to take that on. They, I can see them looking for low interest money, and a sign of that being them reducing the debt the way that they have been reducing the debt. But I also always think, why not take something from the market? The best money is free. In air
Free money.
quotes, give us, yeah, raise
Hmm.
from your people. So you got 400 odd million worth to raise.
Only makes sense.
Yeah. Not 400 odd million. Almost, if you have roughly almost 400 million that you can raise it, take it. Why not? Or double whammy. Since you link to Mayberry, drop a bond, drop a 500 million bond, a 500 million 9% bond, and also raise another 300 odd million on the market via
Yeah.
rights issue.
Mayberry. Mayberry happy. Main Event happy. I'll be very happy.
As a main event shareholder, I'd be very happy. But yeah, even just how the business is running now, I'm very happy. And I like
Yeah.
that we spoke about it months ago. In fact, I want to think, Danai, that on this we actually said, remember how we said it a couple months ago? and nobody paid attention because not that nobody paid attention, but it was it was crazy to buy it at a
Mhm.
certain time during COVID. But then the people who did would have reaped the benefits, and I remember saying, well, I bet you in a couple of months that will be very. I was saying something along the lines of a couple months later, watch all that happen. Well, look where we are now. Yesterday was the highest it has traded in its listed history. So
History.
lucky again, publicly lucky again. Damn.
Call it.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe,
we'll
maybe
see.
it's just luck, But wow, 40. I think 40%, roughly 40% profit since the start of the
Mhm.
year. 39.1% profit from the start of the year till now.
Beautiful.
I think so. I'm biased because I have it. Funny enough, I've had main event shares for a long since IPO, so I'm really in it for the long term. Which I
Very
really
nice,
am in it
sir.
for the long term.
I
It's the best
also
part
planning
of
to do some
everything.
long-term buys myself. I have some, not enough.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
that would have been so. Thank you, Phil, 'cause that would have been my one stock. I know we get to hear Danhai, and anybody else who wants to jump on and talk about yours or hear about yours to see a chance between now and the end of tonight. I don't mean like 6 a.m. I mean when we're done tonight. You see a chance. So send a speaker request if you want to have us talk about something or hear us talk about something.
I'm telling
But
you,
Danhai,
you made that easier because you attach a goal to it. The hard part.
yeah, it's all yeah,
Let
yeah.
me talk about
That's the
Jam T
secret.
without talking about it in relation to a goal. That's pretty aim.
Ooh,
But I mean,
I'll pick a goal. I'll pick a goal. I'll pick
ooh,
a goal.
but then I can't pick Jam T for the goal. Or I can go.
You can talk about it over that time period.
Let's
35
go.
years. 35 years.
What? 35 years?
All right. That's Cruise
Go
original
give
goal.
me a goal. Give me a real goal. 35.
I'm screwed out. All right. Realistically, I'm thinking I'll go with this 5 years,
5 years.
okay?
Or once in 5 years.
I would be happy in 5 years if my money
Double.
doubled.
Then yeah, I think
Yeah, 100%. 100% profit. Just so that we're
yeah,
clear.
I think Jam T can do it for you. And I think it might
Oh, well.
happen within a shorter time. A good thing about the 5 years is that you give a lot of leeway for the shorter timeline. Big and that's why I like to look at that there is because Jamty has been known to not really follow up on the timelines they've given for the last 2 years. And
Yeah, it's been endless summer.
yeah, so if summer finally comes and the sun hitting the right way, and the hitting will have to come from them. All right, I mean, we seen where the QW kind of beating them. Uh, the business has been doing well outside of okay, QWI really racking up losses, hitting them certain ways. But I think with the spin off of the manufacturing arm, so what they're going to do, they're going to take all the manufacturing operations of Jamty, put into Caribbean Dreams CDFL, that's the name, Phil. Caribbean Food Limited,
Yeah.
that's the name. Um,
Caribbean Dreams. Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
Food Limited. Yeah.
they put all the manufacturing operations of the group within there. They're actually going to be a group now, and they're going to list that thing. And just on the listing of that, they're going to use that. So they want to bring in some outside investors. Interesting way to do that. Interesting to do outside shareholders. They have spoken about their specific interests from people that want to buy into JamT, but they just want to buy into the manufacturing operations of it. I guess they're really not the one sign up for QWI, and if somebody buying in at that point, that's just some committed money basically that's going to go towards them building up the manufacturing process, them expanding the factory space, bringing on more products, expanding the distribution line that they're pushing more and more foreign. So yeah, to me, that works well for JamT. So I'm just a business, then yeah, in the next 5 years I can truly see a doubling of it. And they have other parts of the business that they can grow. They have the real estate arm that they're pushing more into doing developments constantly. Development a year so far uptown. So the margins and that we talk about that earlier, I think that in the episode, how real estate uptown getting more and more expensive. JamT doing that yearly, but they're booking more and more profit off of that. So that does make sense for them. I can see ways for QWI to turn around, but to me, at least from just looking at this, they can find a way to water down the effect of QWI doing badly, and in the times when QWI does well,
Yeah, I don't know. Hold on. How? Let me push back on that
water down. I
because
don't want to say disappear it.
yeah, but even so, what's watered down? Because
No,
QWI, boy.
water down meaning literal water down, meaning we make more profits compared. Truth is, and the sad part is, the more losses QWI takes, and the smaller QWI is. Meaning a portfolio. You take a loss and a portfolio goes from 4 mil to 3 mil. And then now you read so the base of the your base for losses become smaller. 20% down is a smaller thing. So the sad part is you at best yeah, you want Credit to grow, be in profit, or thing there. I think it
I don't know. That's why I'm giving
my
pushback on that. Your QWI is such an
yeah,
albatross when it
yeah,
doesn't work. That
and I cannot look at the diminishing of it as a good thing in any way. I can't look at it, okay, I can't really make a point that them taking losses and that the company being smaller means okay the loss is less. It's still losses, they really the value of that thing. So
I
PewDiePie,
know what I was pushing back on is just what I was pushing back on is the amount of
yeah,
profit you have to make to even just
yeah.
offset QWI.
PewDiePie actually has to be in profit for them to actually look good.
Yeah, man.
But
Yeah, there's no
they
going
get a
around it.
too big a slap from anything PewDiePie. So they actually need PewDiePie to be in profit. I think over
Hmm.
if them stick to them guns what they're doing now, PewDiePie and what they're doing now as I see it, they're taking a very passive role. So I would have to say that yeah, the companies that they are invested in are things that can grow really well. I mean, I hope Dollar buy out access and give them a really good boost there. But truthfully, yeah, QWI would be the point that I would say would be your biggest point that you might not really get what you want on it because QWI can really actually ruin the
Hmm.
things here looking good. But the shorter
Yeah.
movement I would say is thing there is if there is a specific benefit to JAMT shareholders that they can see really tangibly, and I mean like with a dividend in specie of some dollar of what again of Caribbean Dream shares when they right before the listing, then I can see people looking at that, see the benefit in that, and then willing to buy it that much more further. Just like you saw with Lombard Depot and Mayberry, people just saw there's a good run on the stock price because there's expectation that
Yeah,
if I buy this thing, I get some part of this brand new company that's going to be listed. Basically, I skip the line for the IP.
for
So
free, for free.
exactly,
But I don't. But suppose they don't do a dividend in specie. I don't think they'll do a
you
dividend
know,
in specie. I shouldn't say I
I
don't
think
think.
there's
I
saw God. I should check the exact thing there, but it sounds like there's a thing there. There is a hint towards that. Of I saw a thing there in him again. Done my food.
I s-
Read said something that
yeah.
sounded like yeah, but it could also be taken another way. He didn't actually break out what the benefit is. The benefit is, but the benefit would be MT
What
shareholders, and if that benefit is in a way where people can look at it and say, okay, I can see where I can earn from this, and it does make sense to buy more JMT shares to get that thing, then yeah, I think that makes
yeah. So what he said was, and I'm also paraphrasing, but what he said was they're thinking about doing the CDFL
mm-hmm.
IPO, the CDFL spin-off in a way that provides some benefit to JAMT shareholders. But as we know, there are multiple ways
multiple
that
ways.
that
It could
benefit
be the
can
very
go.
lamest benefit of okay, we own this company. It is now a bigger company, so yeah, you benefit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could sell, they could be a selling
Mm-hmm.
shareholder and pay out a special dividend for
Mm-hmm.
some of the proceeds from that. They could do a dividend in specie, which is, the love
Mm.
thing. Well, I don't know if it's a love thing. I would
I would
love if
love
they
to
did
do it.
that.
I mean,
But I don't know with how our retailer analyst side of the market stay. I could hear in 3 months that it could the fundamentalists could decide that that's
oh
a
yes,
bad
of
thing.
course.
So I don't know. I'm on record not saying that I would want to be a dividend species, but they could decide that that's
Mm-hmm.
a bad thing. I don't know what Warren Buffett will decide for them in a couple
I mean,
of months. But I would love if they
by
did
profit
that dividend in specie.
otherwise.
Say that
Warren
again?
Buffett will find a way to describe profit, and they'll say he said otherwise.
That's true. He doesn't take that. Anyway, they could also do I don't think they can do I don't think they can do a preferential price anymore. I don't think that's allowed anymore. Preferential
Yeah,
pricing
pricing. But then
for the
if
thing. But they could
uh,
do they could also just do like a reserve. In fact, they could do the lamest version.
it
They
would
could
be
do a
Italy.
yeah, they could do a be a shareholder. In fact, didn't they do that? Weren't they the ones who did
Yeah,
that
we
last?
could have high.
The the be a
Yep,
shareholder thing?
yep. That
And in the market read it how they wanted to. So it wasn't proportionate. It was just be a shareholder and you'll get I think maybe then it was preferential
I would love
pricing.
if there was a reserve
That
pool
was
that say, okay, you get our your we already split up the reserve pool along the shareholding lines. So anybody in that reserve
yeah.
pool gets entitled to this certain amount. If anybody doesn't take up that amount, then it's allocated across that pool. So I can apply for I'm entitled to 100,000 worth of the IPO. But if I apply with 200,000 and somebody so Randy never took up him shares in the IPO, then it
Uh-huh.
spread out. Then Randy's shares split up all of us,
Purity.
and made my 200,000 gave me 20,000 more shares than 100.
Oh,
I think that would work well
so
because
now
then you have an incentive to actually own more JMT shares, which would cause the benefit will be proportional to actually owning the shares.
all
The
right, now
number of
pause
shares
for
you own.
just
Yeah.
yes, just pause 5 seconds so that they can replay that on YouTube so they can understand. All right, yeah, I'll say it simply again. So, like a proportionally assigned reserve
Mm-hmm.
pool in the IPO, but it is assigned to JAMT
Mm-hmm.
shareholders. Yeah, I want to say it in like 3 or 4 ways so when they're asking different people they know what to ask about. I'm sure they have this down already. I'm sure they know it. But just in case, a proportionally assigned reserve in the maybe you're selling shareholder portion.
Yeah,
Maybe the part if you have a selling shareholder portion, maybe you have it reserved for
first
sale to
us,
JAMT.
and they can it's
Yeah, so
proportional to what they actually own in JMT. So one
exactly. So not a dividend in specie,
species,
but a sale
and
in
that way
specie,
give
if you
everything
will.
away. They
Yeah, offer for sale, a preferential offer for sale where the preference is given to JAMT
yep, let's
shareholders.
clear with the IPO. Same document. Good.
Mm, that'd be lovely. One document, one work, beautiful. Everybody win, and you make up for the months of
Of people waiting. Like,
that. No, no, not just the waiting of the
oh
directors selling
yes. That-
and selling
Yeah.
and selling
Yep.
and selling and
Telling in
selling.
telling in
So
the face
suppose
of yeah man, so come.
Jesus, the never-ending winter, cause summer soon come. Which, by the way, that selling restarted, right? Up
Yep.
to March 1, there
It was
was an
like
announcement about yeah
they
about
couldn't help
selling.
themselves.
Right up to the end of February. 29K units, 1,100 units. Um, yeah, I mean that I wonder about that. I wonder about that level of selling and its directors sometimes.
Yep.
They, they even broke the quote unquote resistance line, the 250.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I wonder about that. I wonder if it's some people on Twitter yapping, mostly me. I'm sure we had nothing to do with that though.
Mhm.
But I mean, it was there from the middle of November. They didn't break until March, early March,
Mhm.
which is also telling because March, who knows? Who knows if it's telling? Um, so you still with even with the threat of the director's sale, you still good with the idea of
Mm, double. Think that? My word. I can really see it, but I can see some of things. I wouldn't pick it for that. I'll pick something else. I can see it. But I think there are too much variables that work against it for me to be comfortable saying, yeah, man,
mhm.
this is the out of all the stocks on the exchange, this is what I will pick for that specific goal.
For me personally, I'd pick it for it. The units I still hold, I hold it with the understanding that they will probably give me that sort of performance. If
It would be
is a
the thing
say
is,
that
I'm
again?
saying it wouldn't be the first pick for me. I would do it, But if you could say, boy, pick anything else on the market, I would pick this one.
Oh yeah, well, if I was just looking 100%,
Yeah.
there are much better places
Yeah.
I'd be
But
looking for
Jantel,
it.
they can do right, but too much that gone wrong before and too much that can go wrong. Pewdiepie is a big problem, you know.
A massive, massive problem.
Matter of
How do you feel
Pewdiepie
about?
just mash up everything every quarter. Imagine that.
Yeah, yeah,
Produce such a big
Yeah.
influence
exactly.
on the bottom
How do you
line.
feel? How do you feel about them? And their move to the main market, which I think is indicative of them going to raise a crap load of money. So suppose, yeah, I wonder about that because I believe John Mahfood actually
Mm-hmm.
invests.
So you think the Jamti is going?
And the only time, yeah, well, you know, the constant threat of raising the wrong
Mm-hmm.
way. But then I also heard him say that he was excited about 138 student living. But again, I believe 138 might be done
You know,
with the $5 way and the support, and that's the sort of thing that there's money that the level of money that I assume John Mahfood. I know John
I'm
Mahfood has because his money is
talking the
QWI.
same talk.
I don't know, but you know me, I look for the danger from
Yeah, man.
early.
That's one. It's a
So
it's a 1-3. That's like a Pewdiepie by
I don't think that he
if he,
like okay. So
then I wouldn't do. I wouldn't.
in the in the 138 in my possible 138 scenario, you'd have a broker or a broker linked entity supporting the share price at $5 heavily,
Yeah.
right? And then the APO at $5, and then continued support at $5 because the intrinsic value of the entity itself and the dividend yield at $5 is so it is perfectly good that some entities some entities wouldn't mind getting that and they're fine getting it at that price for however long there it stays at that price, right? Including if you get like a JMB effect where it's 4 years later and it's still around that
Mm-hmm.
price. Some entities are fine with that. You're saying that in the Jamty example, you think QWI would play the role that in my mind I'm saying GK is playing or would play. So QWI
Oh
would soak it up at
no no
whatever.
no 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 no.
Yeah, I don't
But I'm
see them with
thinking
that level of
if he's
expertise.
excited, then no matter what
Savvy.
happens with 138, I mean, he's already sold on the idea that buying into 138 is good. So it could. I don't know if that. I don't know if that gives. That doesn't.
Yeah, but
That
I think
doesn't
I
help me get towards saying that 138 is a good buy. I mean, I want.
no, I don't care about 138 in this. I'm just saying the fact that he's saying that. Do you think then that he might also be perfectly fine doing the APO
Oh,
on the
yeah,
main
yeah, yeah,
market
yeah,
or Jamty
yeah,
in the next 2 years? That's a hell of a
yeah.
threat. Yeah, it is the reason why I don't have a lot of money in there. It's a hell
So
of a
is it?
threat. And then the question would be, would they do it the way that the my propose? I keep saying I think like the GK way, but GK hasn't actually done it yet to our understanding. So I don't know that they do it. They may do it right, but to my eyes, like do you if they were going to do that, do you think they'd have QWI play the GK role of soak it up at 250?
Well, can you do that?
Yeah, yeah. Them have the debt, them have credit,
Yeah, they
they have
have
they have
margin space.
they have margin space. They have things that they'd be better served no longer
Well,
owning.
well.
They have a lot of room for good decisions, good investment decisions, I
Ah,
believe. Um,
but
and
room,
they would eat off the increased dividends from the JAMT group,
mm-hmm.
and they would be supporting. I mean, if you're always buying it at 250 almost, and you're willing to keep that support level at 250, you're almost never going to
Oh,
worry
yeah, you're
too
good.
much about cap about
Unless
losses.
unless the director starts selling too hard.
But yo, if the directors sell, as long as the directors don't sell to a
But
level
that'd be fun.
where QWI can't
But
buy it.
imagine that. I don't think it's actually gonna. Going back to reality, yes, I think QWI can. I think QWI can find space for it, they probably it can become a very expensive strategy.
Yeah, I don't know if they
Especially
would do it.
especially if the wrong man goes say Radam. And the wrong man is always waiting.
You are 100% correct. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. So I could get buried under
Yeah,
the
man.
weight of that decision. That is that is true.
They don't.
That is true. That is true. That is true. If I was Jamaica Tees, I wouldn't even slightly breathe the
Yeah,
APO
man.
energy.
You see, I am restraining myself.
Yes. I never thought of that. Sorry, I just went and looked up the shareholdings. Um, Shout out to my money JA for that. But wow, I did not think of that. That they could very well get
Part
buried
two.
under the weight. They could get buried under the weight of
Yeah,
their decisions. That's a good threat. That's a good threat. Stay away from
yeah,
the APO.
it'll be in
Here,
their favor.
yeah. Big up John Mafood, but mark my words. Say no. You need to say no to APO. Unless everything good. Unless everything good in
It's
that
okay.
regard. But
Hey, we can say AP everything, Chris.
kiss the ring, everything good. Then maybe everything good. It's a lot of shares though.
I mean, them for know if everything, Chris still. So, see me.
It's a lot of shares. It's a lot of shares.
time,
Yeah,
time,
it might
like,
not
you
be
know,
good.
the time we buy.
But the funny thing, okay, so we're thinking from share price perspective. But if he's running the company, I don't care if you do that as long as I raise the money.
Probably okay with, but then I mean, yeah, he has to. So yeah, yeah. We have to draw that line. But then QW, the idea looking at is QW. I would have to say, okay, QW would QW step in at that point?
Why they never step into the market? No,
Them sell enough already.
no. I mean, I mean, learn to invest better. No,
So when you say again, there's a lot of room for a good investment. But yeah, so use it.
Jamaica Teas is such an interesting company to me, boy.
Them too rich for some,
It
you
is,
know.
yeah, the two
Too rich.
acting this sport. They're such an interesting company for me.
The market is happening to them.
Yeah, they're set up to make things happen, but like you said, the market is happening to them.
Yeah,
Like, imagine, like, I still don't understand arguing with access, because access either profitable or not for you, and you decided to, that your move is to argue. Cool.
That was wild.
beyond wild. In other markets, there would have been a stronger reaction from
Mm-hmm.
shareholders. Like, what do you mean? In some in advanced markets, like if the offer was made and you didn't participate, your shareholders can and should and probably will sue
Mm-hmm.
you. Yeah, for leave, like you're not allowed to leave money on the table. That's not why we voted you in. Yeah, I love where the market's going. This is a really good pick, Danai. Janti is a very interesting pick. Very interesting pick with the potential. The 2 year, because that threat of anything
Mm-hmm.
going wrong. But they have such an easy road ahead of them. CDFL listed the right way can really
Mm-hmm.
save QWI,
Yes.
which in turn saves
Um,
Jamti.
Jam T.
Done right can also
oh,
provide heavy cash for Jamti,
yeah.
which done right can just literally fund every other arm of the business. Like allow CDFL to fund itself, as you're gonna do a mixed raise.
And
So selling shareholder and
in real estate, you're in the market, you're in
Exactly.
manufacturing,
you're in
and you're in real.
you're in retail.
And you have an investment arm. Like,
And the investment touch a piece of everything. Like if I was them, I'd be wondering why haven't you just spun off everything?
Bro, there is
Spin off QWI, spin off CDFL,
just
spin off the little real estate thing, which I would be excited about because they do real estate that middle class and regular people can actually afford.
mhm.
They
It
are
works.
solving a problem that nobody else has come around to solve yet. It's only them and NHD. NHD is too much headache to solve it.
Mhm.
Um, and I know people in the private sector. I know unlisted entities in the private sector that are also kind of solving it in certain ways, and who are possibly interested in coming to market. But I don't know anybody else who say in first rock go top of market, right?
Mhm.
First rock going luxury. Um, KP REIT gone foreign
Car
USD.
park.
Yeah. Epley does interesting. Epley and the same
Atlanta.
Panjam JP group does interesting commercial stuff.
Mhm.
Uh,
What?
Stanley Mata does
That was actually
commercial. Say that again?
I was going to my first one, but I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to make. I didn't want to try to make something boring sound interesting. But it's interesting in its own way. I just didn't think that people would fully get it the way I would want it to.
Yeah.
Boring conversation to a lot of people.
Yeah. That's a very interesting one. Thank you for that. I really I like that. I like that. I hope you guys enjoy this session. Last chance. It's midnight, 12:03 actually. So last chance if anybody wanted us to talk about any specific company of theirs. You wanted to tell us about your one stock. Thank you also, Phil, for that one stock. And Cruz for his very interesting one stock with Jam, not Jam Tea, but Pan Jam, other Jam. Um, and anybody who wants to hear about their one stock or whatever, this is your last chance. Like you have to send a speaking request quick, and we can get it out of the way. And who knows how that could work out. Uh, but yeah, this is a very interesting one that I still not ready yet. 245.
But so much potential.
So much potential. And I really hope it's not wasted because every day I feel like the potential is being wasted. But I still feel like I want to hold out hope. I feel like QWI is setting themselves up to really bank off for the CDFL move. Problem is, QWI that okay, so if it work, excellent. You get a good year or two, then what?
But then the market turn on again. I
Yeah,
mean,
you still have to do it again or do something new.
we had QW eating nice during the stock split days.
Yeah, and then things kind of change. The
Yeah,
FSC rule change kind of. I think,
they locked in a good year.
but weren't able to continue it, and then bled and continued to bleed throughout the pandemic. And I still think that they leave opportunities on the table.
It feels like they're investing in a way like, yo, the IPO nice. We get a nice buzz off our IPO. Some of this year sound good, we look good. 200% in profit this year, everything nice. But there's no IPO this year, so
There's something like them
marking up.
investing. Yeah, them investing for the long term. I didn't like the last, in air quotes, the long term.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that makes sense. And you have to compare them.
Type of company they are, especially.
Well, here's the problem. I'm always going to compare them to MJE.
Oh yes, because they're actually you set yourself up as the same thing. Active market participant until you, oh god, we're doing long term now.
Hmm.
Yeah, come flip flop with like that.
No, but Mayberry also does long term and says clearly that they're doing long term.
In fact,
And
they have been. I think they've been more consistent with the messaging that we're doing long term. And then you check it, gains and gains and gains. I mean, we know the best way to the short term, to the long term. Make money in the short term.
yeah, and guarantee and continually guarantee yourself period by period ahead in the future. Um, I don't know, continue to like and be interested by Jamty, and with the exception of a little piece that I have in there, I don't really. They need a fix up. And I think the fix up might be coming, so I'm excited about the CDFL.
Same.
And yeah, that's not a bad one stock at all. I saw somebody send the speaking request and then them gone. I think it was Alain, but maybe him gone. So
See the time too.
I'm sitting down and decide to say I'm done. Or maybe like the gentleman on the top of the bus park. Maybe my wife call him.
Alan, run out.
Yeah, Ali run
Alan,
out.
make a comment and run. Make a comment about me.
Oh God, see,
Into
I
the
see him
value of
back. So,
week.
yes,
Okay.
Aline, everybody else, nobody else said so. Aline, I guess you get the chance to be the last one on. What's up? This is what, 3 weeks in a row for you know? Connecting.
Yeah, that's been a weird thing this night.
Yeah. I guess we might not hear Aline tonight if this thing don't work out.
Same to say, because we do this one stock thing more often.
Oh yeah, we're trying to do it at least once a month, so I don't mind it. Maybe do it every third week or something, the one stock. So if you guys want to hear stuff, you can plan around that. If you want to hear something specific, you can come on and talk, ask about it. We'll have a good conversation.
Yep.
Yo, it worked better as a conversation, but if all you want to do is press one of the button and say, oh, just talk about SVLR, talk about SILR, talk about something. I mean, you can get that too, but that you can get that from any nook and cranny. You're not going to get.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, everybody still have an opinion. More people now have an opinion about investing, which is great. I love that.
More of them.
But you need to still be even more careful now because not every opinion is worth listening to, and some of them will burn up your money.
Not even invest.
So, and many of them do invest, and
Bro,
fewer do it well.
wireless experience to hear
What's
people
that?
tell people to invest, speak about investing. Like, why me not do that? I never tried, won't try it. But yeah, man, put on the corporate voice and do this.
Yeah, there's a lot
Like,
of people yapping about money. Very few of them actually make it. Try and find the ones who know what they're talking about. Yeah. Alina, giving you one last chance because I see you're really trying. Like I just heard the beep, so I'm hoping that is you jumping on now. You hearing us, Aline?
still connecting on my side.
I think I've seen that too. Like Aline need to get a new Wi-Fi.
Yeah, man.
Jano.
Boy, I almost have a ad because my Wi-Fi issues.
Sort it out.
Before I know, bro, I tell you, man, the right thing you tell me that. Trust me.
Yeah. There's still good enough internet in Jamaica enough in some corners. You have to pay for it though. It's not cheap.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, but it's worth it.
Yeah,
Jesus, it's worth it. Especially you do a lot of stuff on the internet, it's worth it. Like you don't have to realize a lot of people though. Them my move come out of place 6 years ago, and I had the base package from Floor Digicel,
uh-huh,
and 6 years later you still have the base package, and you wonder why it not work. You think about how you use your phone and your devices now versus 6 years ago.
uh-huh.
YouTube alone constantly, music constantly, everything is online now. Plus Netflix going on the TV, and you're like, why things slow? And you blame the the internet service provider, which you should, but you should also be realistic about what your needs are. And that's a free ad to both of the large internet service providers in Jamaica. Um, Feel free to sponsor us since we are on the internet. I'm not gonna say no to the right check. Aline, you get your chance yet?
Connecting again.
Still connecting. Jano Aline, so sorry.
I
All right.
the same problem.
Yeah, man. Aline, I like to give the people, the girl subscribers every month a nice, not every month, every week, a good little conversation afterwards. We have a nice little post brick talk conversation with less restrictions and more depth sometimes. So I'm going to do that because I don't want to do that at 3 or 4 a.m. I want to do that while I'm still up and active. So I'm gonna say good night here to everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know. Look out for it again next month. And of course, next week we have another brick talk on some other topic. Maybe somebody will climb King's house or something. Um, but yeah, thank you guys. I hope it was very, very good. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, it's another brick talk. Then I have anything you want to tell the people?
Big up, people.
Then I is as terrible at marketing his company as I am. I should tell you that Split Grower is next week. I feel like did I interrupt you just now, did I? Because my sound isn't clear at all.
Go through. And tell
Okay,
anybody,
well,
tell anybody discount with me if they do grow.
okay, so I tell them Split Grower is next week. Everymickle.com/GRWR. You want to sign up for that if you want to learn about investing and learn about investing in a real practical way that can help anybody to make money in the market, and more importantly, to understand how to make money in the market. Um, you should do that. Split grow is next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, the evenings of Tuesday and Wednesday. Full grow is the Saturday. evermickle.com/GRWR to sign up for that. You get a bunch of discounts if you do that, including a discount to Danhai, dhalladvisory.com. He's a licensed investment advisor, independent investment advisor. He's easily the best around for the local market. You're not going to find nobody who can help you out better. And you get a discount to see him if you do grow. And if you do session with him, you get a discount to grow. It works both ways. And if you're interested in being like part of the Grow Subscribers group, you hear me talk about, there are not that many slots left. There's always a small amount of slots left. And when it done, like I always say. Some people sign up when they hear that, smart. Some people don't. Hey, maybe wait until the last minute, but when it done, it done. Regardless, check that out. Link Danhai. I think Danhai, your dates for April are now open.
Yes, yes, they are.
Booking for a session with
Booking
Danhai in April.
yeah, April dates are now open, so just go on the site and you should see them.
Perfect. And yeah, so thank you to everybody who listened in, who's listening to this in the future, who's taking tips from this for how to structure your raise. If you care about your share price,
And you
consider doing the right thing. Say that again, Dana.
care about your shareholders. You've said it the right way.
Yeah, the big ones and the small ones. So speaking of which, let me end with this. So I was looking at the Cornerstone publication that came out while we were doing this, the Barita stuff, and I've always loved their language. I have always loved how deliberate their language is, and I have always advised the people who do grow that you should pay keen attention to what is said and not what you think is said, what is actually said. And not that there's anything wrong or bad in what I've read. I only looked over it one time, but they're talking about how they're going to reorganize the entire Cornerstone group. I remember telling you, I don't know if I said this on Brick Talk or just in the group that but I remember pointing out that I think the last annual report from Barita, I don't know if anybody noticed it or said it, but it was from Barita, but it just said Cornerstone, and it spoke to Cornerstone, and it spoke to the Cornerstone board, and it was Cornerstone shareholders. It laid it all out, and Barita was under it. Say that again?
It felt almost weird, right? When I opened it, I was like, who are we talking to?
Yeah, you go through the whole thing. It speaks completely to Cornerstone. When you start off talking about Paul Simpson, founder, president, and CEO of Cornerstone. You talk about the Cornerstone senior management team. I mean, all those people are Barita linked to, but it's such an interest. Like it was Cornerstone's annual report, pretty much, right? Um, one of the cornerstones anyway. What I remember that when I was reading the notice, the press release that just came out earlier, when they've gotten their yes from the BOJ about their reorganization of into a financial holding company, and the part why I mentioned this is that there is a section here saying that um, I want to read the exact line again. I don't want to paraphrase. The amalgamation of CUHJL, which is, let me read what those are, but it's part of the Cornerstone Group, and CFHL, which is, I think, Cornerstone United Holding Jamaica Limited, I could be wrong, and Cornerstone Financial Holding Limited, will effectively result in the implementation of the mirror principle, which has underpinned operations of both Cornerstone entities since CFHL's incorporation. So I thought about that mirror principle, and I thought about the fact that Barita's last annual report was pretty much just Cornerstone. And in the next line, the amalgamation of CUHJL and CFHL will see existing shareholders who currently own an equal number of shares in each of the Cornerstone entities owning one set of shares in the combined entity post amalgamation. Again, that doesn't necessarily speak to Barita because all of that is above the Barita level. But then, if you jump a little later down, they say that they want I'd advise everybody to read it. It has been a long time coming in terms of the guests. on my part. You can go back and listen to the stuff that we said and see what's happening now. But they spoke about reorganizing it, and they spoke to Barita saying it's intended that Barita, which is currently the public listed company within the group, will be delisted, and that the FHC will be listed in its place, which is the financial holding company. And then, um, and I'm jumping ahead here. Oh, well, let me not. The effect was that the effect, as was the case with other financial groups when they undertook their own restructuring under the BSA, which is the act that caused all the financial
Banking
groups
services.
in Jamaica to rework themselves, is that the shareholders of Barita at the relevant point in time will see their shareholding move from Barita to the financial holding company. And
Mhm.
further details will be provided subsequently. But they say this made me think that this is the sort of language that has always made me wonder who in that organization knows the market or knows how to speak to the market. But I think that they know how to speak to the market, and especially the new market of which they are a part.
Mhm.
Uh, and then I'm going to jump forward to the last part of the sentence that I care about, which is way down in the conclusion. We believe the formation and eventual listing of the FHC in particular will unlock material value for the Cornerstone Group and by extension its existing shareholders, and especially Barita's minority shareholders who will now benefit from a broader integrated financial service arm. And I say all of this just because they spoke about the minority shareholders of Barita. Uh,
Very interesting.
very, very, very interesting, especially because they've always known how to, I believe, since the takeover, how to speak directly to their minority shareholders and prospective minority shareholders. So,
I think that's poetic.
in
Coming
what way?
Barita, Barita
Yeah.
being
Oh,
who they are, what they are, being a big part of the market democratization. I mean, them and Jamie B sing a lot about that.
they do
Also,
sing a lot about it.
and O2 women, right? Both of them. But the yeah, you keep going forward, but I'm going back to when we said exactly this would happen, and they called us crazy. How much time?
They call us a lot of things for saying this. This and the off balance sheet stuff
Oh yeah,
that
man.
years later everybody know about. What it's been a long time coming. I can't wait till this happens. If this happens, and then Republic also come in on this,
Chef's kiss.
nobody can talk to me about stocks after
Republic
that.
or First Citizen? First Citizen.
What's the difference?
Same doubles.
Yeah. All right. I get you. Single digit
But
See, not
earning
doubles,
season
same
episode, you know.
single
doubles.
digits are same doubles as Danhai just said.
Ah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, it's been years and years and years waiting. I feel like the person. I feel like Bujo. You remember when Buju did say, just let go everybody and who live, live, who dead, dead, and we were like, that guy's crazy, cancel him. You remember when you used to get cancelled for theories on COVID? And now we look back and we're like, uh, maybe it's how you said it. That's a good
Probably right.
excuse. No, no, you can't say it. Maybe it's how you said it. Maybe it's how you said it. Big up Buju. Well, maybe big up Buju, but definitely big up
Arita.
the dark horse. Dark horse after years. This is the company that made me sick of that term, because I had to hear it again and again and again. And the reason why I said it, I
Last.
am just now seeing the start of it. God, was it 2018 or 2019? When did Brick Talk, not Brick Talk, when did earnings season start?
Earning season start 2018.
So it would have been, I was started like the middle of 2018.
It
So
was
I'd have been
August.
waiting on this late 2017 or early 2018. Damn. No, in fact, when did Cornerstone buy Barita?
20, 2017 or 2018?
That I think that was 2017.
Yes, it had been 2017 going to 2018.
Big up the $9.
90. Big up that rights issue. Both of them.
Two
Yes,
of them.
sir.
Big up.
Yeah. Big up the billions they raised from a right issue. Big up Barita for doing that, for showing how much can be done using right issues.
Imagine that.
Yeah. Billions.
It's
Woo!
one or two. It's 1 year. Yeah, same year or two.
Too. Well, they did one, they put it back, they changed it around. They didn't make it renounceable. Um, Minority
They
shareholders
still
in
raise
Barita,
millions.
they raised billions, and minority shareholders in Barita benefited multiple ways.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, big up that. But yeah, very interesting.